they recognize this game was so important, because you are going to have those teams that are slightly below you on that cusp of the bottom 5 or even the bottom 5. Those teams as well are really going to be trying to step up and try and take as many elims as possible. So it's nice for them that they recognize that and went, hey, actually we have to have a really good, strong game here, because otherwise we are going to fall behind. We don't want a repeat of day 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's so much to talk about with this match. This Rondo felt completely different from the first 2 in my mind. At least I don't know what you guys think about that one. It started off with Alpha Gaming, though, right? Instead of normally dropping all their players in Yulin, they send 2 to test track. What do you think about that, Max?
I was just seeing someone again get shot while parachuting down. It's been happening a lot on Rondo. I don't know what they did about the trend, but no, this hot drop between the certain Pakistani team I shall not name. Then you have APG, you have Team Secret, you have Falcons. It's hectic. It's all over the place. I love it. More of that, please. Absolute mayhem on the battlegrounds here for Rondo, but it was cool that we saw, especially for that certain team going for a little bit of a backup plan, which is, you know, going for the recalls up northwest. But wait, it didn't work out for them yesterday, Niptura. This time around, they had a game plan, and you know what? They got very far in this game. You love to see it.
Yeah, and I really like here we see that crash. It's such a difficult building. No, it wasn't. Yeah. But I will say I'm impressed how long they survived there, right? Because it's such a hard position to hold. Teams are surrounding you. They did get helped a little bit by that zone, because that meant no one was going to push them. They were too busy worrying about their own thing. But OG there, I want to say very quickly, what a third party coming in for them. I loved this, and then they were able to hold out. Oh, wait, the triple.
I didn't see that.
I did not see that.
Whoa. What are those nades, man, coming out from Orangutan? Sorry, I have to jump in there. That's respect on the utility game. And we were saying it, right? Hotrix Niptura, this is by far, in my opinion, even though it's not a win, this was the best game from India. This was the best game from Orangutan, and finally given respect that's deserved back to the lobby. They're not being too over-aggressive, going for these weird splits. No, they bunker down, they hold positions together, Niptura. The timing was on point. Is there hope for Orangutan today? Because if we see this caliber of gameplay for these next 5 matches, whoo, OG, this could be a great, great day.
Absolutely. I love how they played this. They played how I was thinking they were going to play, right? They timed the third party onto Wolves and Team Secret really, really well. Then Rejects did a really good push. They tried to threaten that position as well. And OG said, absolutely not. This is ours now. And the quick flip that they were able to do from that third party to defense was really, really nice. And then using other teams' fight to actually use as a distraction to push up themselves. Love what they did with that. So I'm really, really hopeful for the next game.
Oh man, I'm so stoked for this one as well. Milo's getting that 5 eliminations. This man popped off this match, and I'm telling you, OG could not have done that game at a better time, right? Loops, remember, they were that cutoff team. They had 61 points. In this match, they only got 3. So OG are for sure going to be jumping up the leaderboards, right? GS had a good game though as well, so it's still going to be a fight at the bottom pretty much all day long here in my eyes, Max.
Yeah, it's just going to be, they're going to cannibalize each other. Just like, we want to leave the bottom 5, please. Actually, they're not even able to make it happen just yet. They're still going to be down there in 13th position. They were in 13th position before this game, but that gap has closed, Niptura. You're 6 points away from possibly being in that middle pack here to go for the last chance. Top 3 out of the question. Last chance, that is your goal, that is your objective here. And Orangutan, 6 more points, which is doable with the way they were playing this match on Rondo. We need to just see a bit of a follow-up after that great game.
No, we absolutely do, but I just want to point out very quickly, we saw DK say, hey, we're going to be top 3 at the end of the day. They're top 3 game 1. They're now in second place. They've pushed Alter Ego down. GOAT still hold on to their 3rd, but D plus Kia looking good for finals. If they can just hold on for 5 more games, they will have done what they set out to do.
Yeah. I like how GOAT team are the immovable object in this one. They're just D+, jumping 2 ranks. Alter Ego dropping 2 ranks. They're not budging from that 3rd position right now. And Twix, actually, I want to highlight Twix real quick. Yes. This guy was just sent as like the rabid dog of this team. Is just like, you go forward and you just nade everyone. He's like, got you. He's like John Wick in this lobby, and he's getting insanely accurate nades on Papara Supermassive Blaze in particular. This guy was on fire, and you know what? I do wonder if they can maintain a position in the big three today, Hotchix.
Yeah, you know what? As long as you don't, knock your team by shooting your own vehicles, stuff like that, we can gotta get that stuff fixed. I think for sure we're gonna see them continue at the top. I mean, GOAT have been crushing it here so far. They gotta watch out though. I mean, you got D+ now entering the fray. Alter Ego are gonna step up here when it comes to Erangel, so a huge threat at the top. I do want to talk a little bit more about the bottom, right? In my eyes, Neptura, looking at those leaderboards, I think this is it for Tiamba and Reject. I think if they don't win a game right here, they're not going to make it. Do you think that's correct?
Sadly, I have to agree. Very sadly, with a heavy heart, because Tiamba, we've seen them do so well before. Rejects, I love this team so much. I've followed them for years, but it's just not looking particularly good. We saw a little bit of more what we expected from Rejects in that rondo, right? In that last game before their altercation with OG went so terribly bad with the triple nade and all of that. But they were in the top 6, top 7 as a full squad. That's better. That's an improvement from yesterday. So Max, if we can just see that maybe a little bit more, maybe they can scrape into the top 11. I don't know though.
Rejects were like, wait, Orangutan are playing good this game? Got a little bit surprised there. But I think any team in the bottom 5 can still make it, except for Team Secret. I think Team Secret have kind of given up. We're not seeing that glimmer of hope, right, that we saw back in PMWC in Riyadh. Just not quite on that same caliber of gameplay. So Reject, Tiamba, Orangutan, Loops for me can still make it up there. And then you're looking at the teams above that threshold, right, Jukes? GS, Falcons, Wolves, Genji, even 90 Globant. I feel like they can still fall down in that bottom 5. So it's still really close. I think it is going to be down for the bottom 5, at least down to that final match where it's going to really decide the fate of these teams.
Well, let's go ahead and take it on over to 7WG with an interview with GOAT.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG, and I'm joined by none other than GOAT Team Killer Joe. Honestly, this was a good start for the squad in Rondo, your best performing Rondo so far in Group Green. How important was that for your team?
Obviously, it's important to get 8 points, not 0 for us. It was our best Rondo in this tournament. Hard zone, very hard zone, but we got our points and all.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to continue like this because you guys have been performing quite well. What was the difference between day 1 and day 2 for your squad? Because day 2, you popped off.
Day 2, we will continue day 2, I think, yes, to get more points.
All right. Well, hey, I'm hoping that's going to happen. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
Hey, we heard it from Killer Joe himself. He was talking about how this was a tough zone. Honestly, that whole map was crazy different, right? I think we're definitely seeing teams just realize that, hey, we need 20-point games, right? Just some eliminations ain't gonna cut it. So at least for what I noticed, Neptura, squads were quick, right? To rather than focus on engagement, get those dominant positions as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, right. We made note of it. It was like, hey, this rondo is actually a lot quieter than the first 2 days, and that's exactly why. It's just these teams are hunkering down. They're getting serious now. They're realizing the potential that Rondo has to make points, and rather than focusing all those points on eliminations, they're like, hey, listen, we can hot drop a little bit. We can kind of be a little bit aggressive in the early game, but the focus really is on that end game, focusing on getting those positions instead, Max.
It was not an easy Rondo game. Like, really, everyone was trying to use those emergency cover flares to just survive in this game, right? Going on to Erangel. You don't have emergency cover flares? PUBG Mobile Esport, maybe? That could be a great addition, but I'm very excited for the grassy pastures here, Hodrix. It's going to be intense to see who's going to be looking to climb even higher in those rankings.
Well, I know 2 teams for sure. I think it's do or die for Tiamba and Reject. Let's go ahead and head on to Erangel and see if they can get it done. John, Blank, you think that they can?
Hey, anything's possible. Why not? Give it a good go. Give it your best. That's what you're here for. At the PMGC, plenty of teams will try and stop you, get in your way, tackle you to the ground, and drag you down with them. You got to rise above. That's what it's all about here. Milta up towards Zaki on the plane path. A little bit difficult to get over towards Primorsk here, Blank, but those vehicles should be fairly accessible.
By the way, John, the correct answer was no. So... Just for future
I was trying to be kind,
reference. I think it's all good being optimistic, And I think it's less good, you know, of a team who has got no chance trying to tell them that they can get in. I think that there's a possibility of potentially getting out into the last chance, but even then it's going to require some insane games for that to happen.
Yeah, that's I think that's fair, right? I think that's definitely starting to get a little bit long in the day for getting all the way up there. We'll have to wait and see if, I mean, miracles can happen. It really can, but it's just not what you expect. On the north side there, I'm looking over and seeing quite a few teams potentially dropping towards North George with Inner Circle, maybe, yeah, look at a redivert back up towards Zaki. But Blank, it looks like we're on for a military circle here. Get across as fast as you can. High priority, I'm assuming, is going to be put on towards that observatory position, the bridge camp's potential, over towards Novo access. Maybe we'll see some rotations of the gliders coming on through as well. Grab those hovercrafts.
I wanted to see this yesterday. I wanted to see it yesterday, getting it first game of the first angle. Yeah, that's good. That's fun. That's fun to see. I think it's absolutely brutal for so many squads, though. This is the type of thing where it's like, oh, on an outside chance, you get a lot of points. Who's the team that benefits from this the most? Alpha Gaming. They're already in bloody #1 spot. They don't need any more points. This is very frustrating. For Reject, potentially they're able to get across the water quickly, play towards the houses on the beachhead, play those compounds there. But again, it's tough. A lot of the teams that are going to benefit from this are already in a strong position. And it funnily enough, is the two teams we highlighted before, and Tiamba as well as Reject, who are around south of Milta and south of Farm. So, you know what? Maybe last chance is on the cards. Maybe it is. Maybe I was wrong.
Give it a good go. Let's go. Come on. You can do it. Still 21 points. Ooh, bit nasty. The question is, how fast do they move, right? Because Falcons, they are moving very quick right now, but they are in one vehicle, Blank. And I always hate to see that, especially when they're going to be rolling past Goat. It is going to be a difficult bridge crossing for them. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it here. Depends how close Goats stop. They might try and go further on into the island, and I wouldn't be too surprised at that. They know that there's going to be so much fighting around that bridge. They can play a little bit deeper in and wait to pick up the pieces from it. They're playing the longer game here, and in a third place spot, that's what you want to be looking for. Unfortunately, though, for them, Alter Ego have already managed to find first blood. Papra Supermassive losing one of their players over towards Milta Power on the east side.
I'll tell you, one thing that D+ is very good at is getting to weird zones very quickly and then holding them from there onwards. Loops is in their way, and they will be passing through side by side. It is a weird situation where for Loops as well as D+, there is a consideration to be made here where as you're rotating, you see another team and you just don't take shots. You prioritize getting into the circle and finding a position. I think that's actually the smarter move to take in an international. I think D+ and Loops have both committed to that.
That's a little roll up there, as we saw from Falcons. They're still in their one vehicle, Blank. The thing I didn't take into account, though, to be fair, is that Goat will not have had time to loot that much, right? So they're not going to be super prepared to go for that hold. It's not like you're coming in a minute, in 2 minutes time. And fair enough. So maybe the one vehicle rotate was necessary to just get them across, and they'll be able to grab a couple more vehicles, especially after taking down a player from Goat who was lagging behind a little bit, and they'll be onto the south side. So as much as I hate to see it, I feel like maybe the one vehicle rotate could have been the right call in that exact, very specific scenario, and no others ever. Papra Supermassive, though, after taking the fight in Milta, going for a swim, taking a dip, got their swimming trunks on.
Yeah, that's a long swim as well. And with Tiamba holding Novo, I think that was a pretty obvious hold as well. Oh my god. Doran with the iron sights at that range is something else.
That is pretty special, for sure. I mean, you just always love to see it. You love being surprised like that. Every single time, even though you kind of expect it from teams at this caliber, it's always pretty on the screen. Wolves moving in. Try and hunt down Claws. He's hiding behind the rocks. He's having a good time by the ocean. Actually, he's not having a good time. He's having a pretty terrible time, but might be a little bit safer than he once was because all 4 of the Wolves are here and they are playing hide and seek. It's sardines right now, and Claws desperately doesn't want to be found. As we have a little replay as well. This was when Papa Supermassive lost their player. Claws with the fight around the corner. Yeah, no, it's never happening. Not in a million years.
I appreciate the restraint from Papa Supermassive there. It was like, I want to slam the desk. I'm not going to slam the desk. Fair play to him. But yeah, that's rough. Definitely rough. Definitely a classic, though, from D+. Getting towards this zone nice and easy. I think I respect Loops and D+ a lot more after that push. I think you might have seen... Oh, Reefus. You might have seen it in a regional tournament, you know, Loops stop short and trying to hold out D+. But I think in international, it's a very smart maneuver from both those teams. Just shake hands and be like, well, you know, we could either make this very difficult on both of us, or we both just look for separate areas to go. And even D+ respected it. They saw that Loops wrapped down towards the south side, so they thought, oh, we'll wrap over towards the north. In those few scenarios, it is sometimes nice to, you know, make a friend on your journeys.
No friendly attic for Goat, though, as they have more of Falcons to deal with. Ooh, Dolphallow giving me a scare there. Redox goes down on the first peak, and with 2 pump actions, not peaking at the same time, did not quite work out for them. But they'll be able to get that res. And another player for Goat falls. This is all good news for Alter Ego. I wonder what vehicles they're in right now, Blank, because they are all the way over towards Milter Power still. Hopefully they've got a hovercraft at best, maybe a boat at second best. Could it be a glider time yet again? As teams are starting to compound now onto the military island, DK are taking that northern side, that north and eastern side, rather, of the military base itself, moving up into the hills. Observatory is found by Loops, and Tiamba are in the foothills over towards Novo.
And there is one boat there for Alter Ego, which could take the entirety of Alter Ego across. Why a few of these locations are cut out, though? I think for Alter Ego, it's likely going to be a heavy, wide swing towards the west of the island. But decent sprays from Coops. Decent sprays from Coops, as in a circle to estimate their way across. But again, I think for Alter Ego, I don't think they'll know to make this wide swing to the western side. I think they'd imagine that a lot of the west here is taken up by players. I didn't mention it very much there, but I am very surprised that Inner Circle just like fly past Wolves.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time.
Yeah.
It's got a knock though. Yeah, Inner Circle do lose 1, but yeah, you're right. How have Wolves let that happen? They overcommit maybe to finding that solo.
Few Wolves though, you're just like, well, now our life's a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of teams down here. Now we're kind of one of the last to enter.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't even get the flush onto the Inner Circle player. That was picked up and put in a vehicle very quickly. I thought that was knocked on the bridge, but seemed like it was a little bit safer than I thought.
Yeah. Basically horrendous for Wolves, honestly.
Why have they done that? Coops, why would you do this?
Why would you do this, Coops?
Oh, dear.
Alpha Gaming, though, I think I'm a little less impressed. I mean, losing a player to D+ that early is a little bit sad, especially being the team that plays Sosnovka as well. And for Alpha Gaming, they're now down to just 3 players. I think Reefus is actually a pretty critical component of the team as well, in terms of finding those picks. I think he does enable the team to be so successful at times. I did about 4 more C's in that successful than was necessary as well.
That's an interesting approach here. Alter Ego, taking a leaf out of the Alpha 7 playbook. Take it to the skies. And I mean, on the east side, it kind of looked a little bit occupied, but it was Papra Supermassive who they scrapped with earlier, right? And they're very, very split. The landing actually fairly smooth, but Rosemary, I mean, he's taking damage from somewhere. I think that might be in the blue zone earlier on, but has 5 bandages, a stim ticking him up as well.
Did you miss Alva just falling out the plane?
I think I did, actually. Blank, I was looking at the map feed. That happened? Oh, dear.
Yes.
That's really, really bad. Rosemary, what are you doing? Figure it out.
Well, I don't think it's Rosemary's fault. I think that Alva just ejected in some failed James Bond movie. So Not really sure what he did there. That should tack. So it doesn't tack any damage at all. But it doesn't matter. The M249 will do the trick. So a pretty unfortunate entry, which looked so smooth, right?
Yeah, they sort of stumbled repeatedly on several hurdles. I missed Alva falling out the plane. I definitely will need to get a replay on that because that sounds like comedy gold. But Papa Supermassive able to find players back on it. Okay, there we go.
Shot.
Maybe he got knocked out of the plane here by Kamikaze. Okay,
he did.
That's so much more fair.
Well, he did get ejected, but he didn't press the button. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. That's a painful circle for a lot of squads. Heads back up towards the North Island. Oh, my days. No, Orangutan. No, you do want to play on the south side. You do want to play on the south side. Please, OG.
Oh, no. Oh,
OG,
no.
please.
This is the reject game, though, Blank. It's now or never, right? They need it. At this very moment, Team Secret completely out of it. They're in the blue zone somewhere. I don't even know where they are right now. I believe they dropped up towards Georgia Pole, so probably still yet to come in from the blue zone. Everybody now crunching in onto these hills. You can see Reject regrouping, but keeping a 2-2 split here. Maybe looking to further regroup and leaving some out toward a little bit closer to the coastline. No, they are further inland and playing the buildings. Tiamba as well on that east side. Having a good time. OG, listen to your pleas, Blank. And they do send down south over that bridge. They are not going to be playing across the water. As tempting as it might be, it's not going to be there.
Yeah, they were going to play Sharkfin, which very much an outside chance and survival. But I imagine Ari's just like, look, we're done with that type of playstyle. All right, we're done with playing on the outside of the zone. Let's try and get something here. I mean, they're so close to breaking out into last chance. I'm so glad that they turned around. No matter what happens to them now, I respect the decision.
Go with two players that they got remaining, fending off against GS around the corner. No shots found for GS. The door frame lit up there on the corner, but it will finally be a knock found. Unfortunately, though, there's no one else to try and jump on in. This should be resible here for Killer Joe as he spots Jafar out in the buggy, out in the open, and he gets the spray down. Beautiful stuff as Goat now up to 3 elims. They are desperately defending that third place spot, and now trying to stop Alter Ego from getting on in because they've only got Krypton, I believe. Oh, Snape is still alive as well on that southeast side, but just no HP to be seen.
Tiamba and Reject, two teams that sort of don't really want to fight one another right now. Both have hovercrafts as well. It's a very similar strategy seen from both the squads here. But yeah, really nasty circle for everyone involved. Cuts out so much landmass. I think it's one of the few times where there is actually less playable area on the map than unplayable. It's so tough on this one.
Oh, that's where they are.
Where are they?
This is west side of Sosnovka.
Yeah, so they must be. They're very far away. they're gonna
die. They're gonna die in the blue.
There's a lot of distance to go there for Team Secret. Somewhat confusing.
It's not like you can exactly stop off and heal for a second, is it? In the glider.
No. Okay, I mean, for Reject, honestly, that rotate from farm down towards the south side to play those buildings, like I said, on the beachhead works out fantastically well for them. I just want to see a little bit of a regroup here and then hold those angles because this is a perfect way to finish out your game. I'm sorry, Reject. I should have never have doubted you. That's my bad.
They are really holding this one out. Gen G now eliminated. So another team quite close to that boundary. I say quite close. They are at 83 points and 11th place is 66. But with GS going down, that's good news for Loops, for OG, to try and keep this one going. And on an outside chance for Reject, they've got Hovercraft as well, Blank. So some nice tanky cover that they can maneuver around wherever they see fit. And a lot of teams are just trying to send over their way. Alter Ego, the last player standing, trying to chase on down. 9Z clashing with Papra Supermassive on the outside, and they have got nothing in the face of Papra Supermassive. Nico's not there, but they don't need him. They got all the other boys, and now Reject want a piece of this. Reiji scouting out Divine Nades over the top. If they can win this out, this is a huge pickup to be able to clear so much territory, but they're falling back. They don't want to overexpose.
Yeah, don't really think you can say Papa Supermassive really clashed with 9Z there. They look more like my pizza from last night as they sliced them halfway 8 times. That was bad. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Alter Ego, though, nice little Molotov. Unfortunately, Krypton basically has no HP to speak with. Less than 5% here. He is struggling. The Wolves, though, still continuing here. I mean, they've definitely been persistent in their journey. The more I watch Wolves, the more I think to myself that they're a team that makes mistakes. And that is the problem, you know? I think they're a good team, but there's a lot of mistakes that are made during the play. I think if they can shore up some of those holes in the ship, then they'd be fine. They'd be a really, really strong squad. But there's just these moments where it's carelessness that really comes back to bite them.
Yeah.
But they've been playing much better today. I'll say that now.
Here's God, challenge, and Bond is able to win that out. That's the last player now standing for OG. They've tried to approach from this east side, but Tiamba were on the hold. It looks like they were doing pretty well. They're not going to be pushed through either. D+ actually moving immediately ahead of this one. You said they get these weird rotates sometimes. This is a brilliant heads-up decision made by D+ Kia here to actually get ahead of Tiamba whilst they're in that fight. Alter Ego eliminated as well. That is a little bit of relief for GOAT, but they've still got Papa Supermassive and Inner Circle to worry about chasing them down.
In my mind, there's a world where D+ is first place at the end of this. I'm not even joking at this point in time. Okay, I'm not even joking. I do feel like it's coming. It's so weird with the South Korean squads because I think day one is always terrible. Day one is always terrible for South Korean squads. And they're like, we get it. I think we understand the circle. And then suddenly they start playing out of their minds. It's just so strange to me that day one's always just like a bit more of an observer day for them.
Oh, well, we'll see what they can do. Moving in, the Wolves having a little bit of a clash. The perpetually 6th place team, it seems, like you said, they do make those mistakes and need to step it up. We'll see if they can do that against Papa Supermassive. The little wide wrap around the edge, and that is the go signal immediately. Stepping forwards and Papa Supermassive down in 10th place. A lot of damage, though, sent back over towards the Wolves. That's coming through from Inner Circle. Defending 6th place from them. Not even allowed up to there.
Yeah, I think for Wolves, that losing one player is not too bad, but it's a very clean fight between them and Papa Supermassive. Very nice. I think Coops is doing his absolute best to make this work. And the one thing that worries me about the Wolves is that there looks to be a little bit of contention in the team at the moment, especially when you watch them on the stage. There is a back and forth. Though I do prefer for teams to be open, and especially North American teams that can be very loud, but you know, when everything's said and done, they are still very friendly with one another. But if you want to make it towards the end, you've got to let your opinions be known here. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about there is that you know, you're fostering a little bit of this not so favorable attitude in the team. So for the Wolves, I hope they can keep their heads clear today, because there is the possibility for them. There really is. They just need one big game. That's all they need, and then they're in the running.
Tiamba trying to move forwards. D+ not allowing them that opportunity. D+ keeping things going. I mean, a little bit of revitalization. That first day, not great, but day 2, a lot better for them. They looked really cool on the stage as well, very calm, even when they were finding those chicken dinners. And now it's like they're trying to convert. It seems like on the north side, they have a very solid chance. Ocel's not out in the water there on that position. Don't worry. The minimap just a little bit offset. He is on dry land. He's got dry boots for the time being. But it's all, I feel like, for me, it is still Reject that I'm looking at here. If they can jump up, and maybe as a second storyline, Falcons, if they're going to be able to actually do more than stay alive with a solo and rely on Narvalo for points.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great, is it? You know, having to basically send out Narvalo like some kind of Pokemon in the end game. Narvalo, I choose you.
Max just had Pokemon. I was like,
points. What? Yeah. I mean, that's his special move, right? That's what he gets. 6 points.
Narvalo uses 6 points. It was super effective. Loops. Ooh, they are trying to find the shots and seemingly getting through, but not unscathed. finding the crash successfully onto this corner. Goat now down to 1 player alive. 3rd place in his hands, although it's a bit safer for now. As we hop back over to this east side, D+ moving in with a solidly timed rotate, still ahead of Tiamba, but Chips has spotted that's Loops from the south, actually opening the door for Tiamba to maybe to skirt around the edge.
There's some tough shots for top right now, extremely long distance, but definitely making life hard for Tiamba on the very outer edge of the map. This could easily be a Wolves win. It could easily be a Reject win. Playing around this hilltop here, you can get a lot done for the Wolves. I think the unfortunate thing for them is that they're playing as 3, which makes this a lot more difficult. But I've seen a 3-man win from this spot in the past. It is possible, but you have to be everywhere all at once. And that wasn't on an international stage either. So we'll see how Wolves do want to play this one out. Still 9 teams remaining at almost 22 minutes into the match. It's all these undulating hilltops which allow multiple teams to remain in this lobby for so long.
I'm waiting for Inner Circle's decision here and seeing what they could do as to whether the Wolves are going to have a good time or not. APG actually trying to send off to the hilltop first and not wasting any time, but immediately they're above. There go Inner Circle as well. Wolves take shots out that way.
You're crazy.
In they careen. Doran straight on top of it as well. Looks for the fight. Falak not going to allow him any entry. No quarter given, but T24 is the price they pay. The rest of Wolves, though, on the back lines will not be able to find the angle to go for the flush. Noki stepping forwards, burning Batten out of position. IQ humbled slightly on that peak, but will be able to get some healing done as the reses start to come through. This is Inner Circle's time to turn it around, but Batten again layering down these nades. A response from Falak keeps his team safe. Time and time again, he's coming in clutch, and this is no different.
Egos is very slow on the uptake here. Finally moves a position. It's a long nade. Will get a lot of damage done, but he needs more than just that. And Falak once again with another strong shot will step up, takes him down, and that will be in a circle as 4. This spot is really nice to hold, and teams desire it. As we just saw from 2 squads trying to go for it. I understand what Wolves are trying to do is play the split down towards the west side, but you absolutely have to play as a 3-man in this ditch and just give up the angle.
Ooh, what a nasty little roll up here for D+ Nolbu on the ridgeline in the smoke with a big nade. Does so much damage to them. There is an answer, but Nolbu still has got all of the solutions for them, and it's IC getting rolled down. Nolbu! Oh my goodness me, what a play coming through from Nolbu on D+. That hilltop is not safe for anyone, and how on earth do you find that? Nolbu standing head and shoulders over the lobby. A madman, magnificent, resplendent, glorious.
I mean, they're still even taking shots towards Rejects. Rejects are going Delsaris down. Divine's knocked. Chips with a long-range angle as per usual. Nolbu might even smile after this game. We may get treated to the rare Nolbu grin.
Oh dear. All toothsome and tricky. As Reject cut down to size. The Falcons are still here, Blank, and they do have 3. They do have this hilltop. I feel like if I was a betting man, I would put money on Falcons. But unfortunately, I'm not. So it's staying in my pocket right now. Well, yeah, actually, you know what? You know what? Actually, after what we just saw, it's all on Nolbu, baby. Let's go.
Oh my days. It's so unreal. Oh, it just takes a little bit of a warm-up for South Korea, apparently. That's all it is. Dear me. I wish we saw more international tournaments with the South Korean squads. They are so damn good, and it does just take a little while, but they learn so much from these lobbies as well, and they get a bit of a reset through the year, and they come back stronger than ever.
I mean, talk about shirking the day one blues. They were cloaked in glory in London last year, and now it's all a flourish for D+. Nolbu with 6 elims. This really is the man of the hour. He's got MVP of this game on lockdown right now. They've got 11 nades, Blank, and 6 smokes. They are in a pretty solid spot in terms of utility. And the Circle not really putting too much pressure on them right now. It's up to Reject's duo to move, and it's likely they go south, over towards the Falcons angle, a little bit closer.
Oh, P90. It's a pretty slow game, though, right now. From everyone involved. What makes sense for D+, considering they got 2. 2v3 is not out of the question. Just requires to get that first knock on board. And honestly, so far, they haven't been majorly impressed with the gunfights coming through from the Falcons. This game looks a lot better, though. I think that despite everything, and this is more praise, but for a singular player in Narvalo, is that I think that Falcons, I've got to be really proud of this guy because he is doing such an unbelievable amount of work for the team, and also over many, many years of play. Narvalo has been insane. I think over the past maybe year or so, he has been returning to his full form, to his final form at least, because I think back in the day he was insane. He had a little bit of a drop off, but I think he has a lot more hunger for the game again now.
Oh, that's lovely to see. He's not smiling right now, but you can be sure that that blood is pumping. You don't pull off a play like that and not feel it a little bit. Hopefully the adrenaline drop off here in stage 8 isn't going to be too bad for him. Got to keep the focus. Dropping the smoke train. Knows that Reject have moved up, and he's using that smoke train just to get over this ridgeline. Knows he would be exposed otherwise.
Big thing
to take
for
a single team approach.
Big thing for D+ here is that they got a massive resupply. Right? There were so many teams that fell down that ditch. So you have all the nades that you could ever want. You've got all the smokes you could ever want. You can see here that Falcons actually has less nades on 4 players than D+ have on 2.
There's more in the boxes as well. Let's sit around them, right? Even if they throw them out, doesn't mean they've only got 11 to play with. It's just a question of what they could fit in their backpacks right now. D+ moving in. Chips scouting around, still having vehicles here is pretty powerful stuff. The Falcon smoke has been thrown on out. Reject looking to hop into the buggy. Koa still watching this run out. Reiji not going to use the buggy. It's a little bit low on HP. And actually, how has he just done that? Okay. Oh, no blue down. Okay, maybe that's go time. Falcons, move in. Get something done. Try and take some presence. Redox, nade over the top. Chips, dropping the smokes. They've got so many to play with. Now's the time to use them. That nade looks good. The bounce is on. It's just short. Doesn't quite tag the flush. Just behind the vehicle. Nades are coming at them from both angles. They get the res, but it's immediately re-knocked. Chips needs to get out of there. Needs to get out of there now. Nolbu, he's going to be taken away. And everybody's descending. The Falcons rolling over the hilltop. Maybe D+ are down, but the nades are hitting Reject as well. Chips is clocked. And it's D+ down in 3rd. Apollo against 3. And Falcons are able to find a chicken dinner. The main story, though, Blank, was Nolbu that game. A pretty decent chicken dinner for Falcons, all things considered. They played that south side well. My money gets returned to me, Blank.
It does.
Goodness me. It's, I mean, it really was that north side hill and Nolbu, the headline. A magnificent play coming through from the South Koreans.
Yeah, incredible stuff, honestly. I think for the Falcons, you're very, very happy with the way that one played out, and it does see them a lot safer in this tournament too. But I think the Falcons, it's just nice seeing 3 of them towards that end game. Also, not an easy rotate, and I think Ralph has definitely spoken before about how those early to mid game rotates are quite difficult for them. This time, I think they identified some very strong portions of the map. They played it well, and as a 3, we can see they can still succeed. They can succeed as a 4-man as well. But for Nolbu, a warrior's soul from Seoul in South Korea. Incredible stuff. Just cannot wait to see what the guys have to say about that.
And the Falcons get their first chicken dinner here for Group Green, and it couldn't have been a better time. And I'll tell you what, it was on a toxic military hardship to the north. These guys got to be feeling so great here, Max.
You could see when the circle popped on phase 1, all the teams being, okay, I guess we'll have to rotate early across the bridge. But Falcons here really want to highlight, sure, they didn't do too much rotationally speaking, right? They were just kind of idle a big portion of this game. But this is why you hold on to your bloody utility until the last circle.
Yes.
Because you can just use it and just bully teams. And Redox uses that buggy perfectly to get that elimination. But you just bully teams, and those nades were so pinpoint accurate, Niptura. The D+ and Reject couldn't do anything but get pushed against the blue even further. That was such a good use of utility for Falcons, and finally, we are seeing a Falcons win, hopefully the first of many.
It's about time to see them at the beginning of the match go all in one vehicle, which is questionable, to winning the whole thing. I love seeing that art coming in from Falcons. And to go back to your point, yes, the utilities were amazing. They were pinpoint. They were great. But it was backed up with the timing of a lifetime. As soon as they saw that Elim feed light up with D+ Kia, they went, now is our time. Let's go. Nades at the ready. Just immense pressure onto both of those teams. They could do nothing about it, Max.
Yeah, it was a tough one, definitely, for sure at the end. But yeah, you said it. The timing was on point to go through the replays here of this game. But you know what? We're talking about Falcons a lot here, Niptura. We need to... Oh, that was the 4-man car rotation. We need to talk about D+'s timing. This game, those Eastern fights, they would just pick and choose what they wanted to do, how they wanted to execute it, when they wanted to execute it. D+, man, after day 1, there was a bad day. They've been on an absolute killing spree, and once again doing it today on this Erangel match.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that. I love seeing that so much. And what I love about that as well, Jukes, right, is like the team, they not only decided when they were going to do stuff, they also decided when other teams were going to do stuff, right? Rejects tried to push up on them, and they went, no, now's not your time. We say no, go back to your compound. No, not allowed. And that's exactly how it happened. So that control of teams is just great from them.
I mean, they showed us why they are your previous champions here. They didn't mess around in this match for sure. We saw that push from IC onto the Wolves. By the way, Wolves, I think they could have had this match if they would have played it a little bit more aggressive once they got that position rather than playing it passive. But no, IC pushed on them. Once they heard that fight ring out, we saw DK, do a beautiful wrap. And oh my gosh, that knock from Nobu was ridiculous. But yeah, let's see these rotations here, Max, man, from a beautiful military circle. These are some of my favorite to watch.
Yeah, and you're going to be seeing Falcons and Reject just like, oh, okay, phase 1 circle, military, just cross very early on, and you don't have to do too much movement. Even though Falcons did hug that southern coastal line for a big portion of this game, they do eventually center up very, very rapidly. But I want you to pay attention to D+. They were pretty center on phase 1 going into phase 2. And then they're like, we don't really want to be center of the circle here because there's going to be a lot of attention thrown our way, so we're just going to hug the eastern side instead. And by doing so, they open up opportunities for them to look at fights break out, and third party, or in this case, what we just saw here, they leapfrog the fight of, I believe it was Orangutan versus Chamba Niptura. And those leapfrogs and third parties and the timing of those fights were paramount for them to get into the late game and have an opportunity to get on that podium finish. D+ here, showing some S+ tier gameplay, in my opinion.
Yeah, really, really did. I love seeing that from them. That leapfrog against Tiamba was just insane. Again, the timing coming through from them is really, really nice. And it is going to be reflected in the points, right? Tiamba gets 6 points, but D+ Kia get 10 more. 16 points on the board for them, and Falcons getting 19. Just one shy of that 20-point game they were probably looking for. But hey, 1 point isn't going to be the end of the world this early on in the day. And honestly, it's so nice to see them try and step it up in the final day. A little bit too late, but not too late, right? It's late, but not too late. They still have time to make it work for them.
I'm a bit scared for GS team, to be honest, right now. They were currently the cutoff team, right? 12th position. Not seeing too much presence here, and they're going to be slipping, especially when you've seen teams like Reject, Hotdrix that are initiating a bit of a comeback, especially on this previous Erangel game. It's not boding well for them, so we'll have to see how that goes as Novalo, the Frenchie, yes! Woo! MVP of the game, let's go. Now, this is the Novalo that I know and love in these matches.
Oh man, that's what we've been waiting to see it for sure, right? I mean, we're waiting for that Team Falcons win. I'm so happy they got it now. And honestly, I'm gonna say this, right? I think that they realized they had to have known that it was D+ on that hill for sure. And once they saw that knock, I like that both teams were like, no. This is the team we gotta take out right here, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that we need these points so bad. And man, do the Falcons get it? They had 68 points before this match. That jumps them up to 8th place with 90. But you are right, Max, man. Look at all the way at the bottom right there. GS, right, weren't able to put up any points, 66 in total. It's looking pretty dangerous. Well, they put up a few points, right? They put up a few, but not enough.
It's not enough for right now. Currently, they're going to be 8 points behind Loops without a single chicken dinner, so kind of rough for GS team, though. It did impress quite a bit. I was enjoying some of the plays from Jafar in particular during the Gauntlet stage. They've not been able to replicate that to a similar extent so far in Group Green, though. Reject, they started off the day, they're at 38 points, right, Niptura? Here, jumping up to 51. They are 8-1. 2 good games. They could possibly put in the middle of the rankings where they could move on into the last chance. So Reject, we need to see this kind of momentum build up for the rest of the day.
We need to see a win.
If they falter here, there might just not be enough games for them to make that comeback happen.
They need a win. I'm going to say it up 100%.
Okay.
Like right here, right now, or it's done in my eyes. Nep, what do you think?
Yeah, I could see them definitely going at least for a top 3 podium finish, like a really strong game, maybe just shy of a win, but hopefully a win in the Miramars. I think they're going to use these Orangles to really just build that on that momentum. One thing I do want to point out in these leaderboards is IC making a comeback, right? 4th place, 103 points on the board for them. They're getting pretty close, and you know, they actually had a really good game that game, right? Trying to push up onto the Wolves. They did get that push done well. D+ were actually a little bit late on their third party, but they were just able to just back it up with immense firepower. But honestly, for me, I see continuing to have a good day today.
I don't know that team name. There's a team called that? I don't know who that is. I will not talk about them. I don't know who that is. Looking at the top 4 players of this game, we do have Narvalo, Fallow, Regio, and then Notable that, in my opinion, would normally be the MVP. The MVP has to be on the winning team, but I think that if we took it purely based on stats, it would have to be Notable because, oh my goodness, Niptura, this guy, I don't know what happened to him this game in particular, but he was a demon. And he would see you, you would not even survive 5 seconds. You were done. You're out.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He just decided who lived and who went back to the lobby. He was like, no, you're not allowed. You're not a threat right now. I'll deal with you later. And he was just going through the rest of the lobby so methodically. Really love to see that. And hey, you know what? Regiosio, first time we're seeing a Rejects player on this board. And it's nice to see him 2nd place, 5 eliminations, putting in that work, putting on those points.
Yep, and like I said, they needed them because looking at the difference, right? So in the last game, we saw Loops. They were at the cutoff with 61 points, okay? And RC had 38, all right? So that difference right there is a total of 23, okay? Now Loops have 74, and RC have 51. You know what that is a difference of? 23, right? So they have not progressed at all, right, in order to make it into the last chance stage. So I'm gonna say it again, it's chicken dinner time. I think they extended it to 1 more game, but at least in my eyes, this is the last one for me. What do you think, Max? You think they have another one? Do you really think so?
I think there's still another one. I would say, you know what? Yes, they still have 1 more, mid-game that could happen for them, but after that, it's going to be game over. Halfway point of today, we need to see something come out from these guys.
Ooh, that's bold. That's bold. Neptura, what do you think?
I think that, yeah, I agree honestly with Max that they have a little bit of extra time, but they don't have much.
Well, let's go ahead and take it on over to the stage with 7WG with Falcons and Narvalo.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Narvalo from Team Falcons. Narvalo, great quick rotation from Pochinki to military. And honestly, I want to talk about your gameplay because I feel like your gameplay has improved from day 1 to now the final day. What have you been doing the past 2 days to make sure you can actually perform here on the final day?
I think for this game, like, it was a call, the print path was north, and we said if it's military, we should be first to reach like the island. So it was a call to go quick and go on the left side, no block, as we kind of studied. And then I think we move way faster and with better position. We take better position first and second zone, and that brings us better end games.
You definitely did. Now you're currently, I believe, 17 points away from the top 3. Do you honestly think you can make it to top 3?
before a game we could think it's too far, but after this game we did, I think, more than 17 points. So like if we just need like 1 or 2 other games like that, and we should be close to the top 3.
Well, Team Falcons, the confidence is back. Let's see if they can make it to top 3. Back to y'all.
Let's go, man. You know what? I totally agree. I think Falcons are absolutely in that range for top 3. I think could be a big game for them here. I think they could definitely handle a mid game, but it's going to be a chicken dinner coming up from some of them. As a matter of fact, I'll go down to even Gen G. What do you think about that, Max?
Ah, mais je crois que c'est possible que... Oh, wait, I went French mode. French accent. Put me in the French mood. Sorry about that. But no, for them, it could definitely be possible for Gen G. I mean, we saw what they could do in Miramar, right? They got themselves a Rondo also yesterday. Very good game over there. But Miramar is the map that stands out the most to me when it comes to Gen G. But Wrangle, if there's any map that we want to see more from Gen G right now, it would be this map. It would be the Grassy Pastures.
Yeah, it would be. It's what we need to see, especially because, you know, they need the points. They need the points, and they need to go quick because those teams at the bottom, they're still pushing, still going. So honestly, it's not so much a wrangle. I think for me, it's like match 3, done deal, needs to be done now.
Let's see if they can do it right now. The last Aaron Gale of the day. Let's take it on over to our casters, John and Blake.
I think... am I going... We've got 1 more, right? After this? We've got 1 more, Aaron Gale. We've got 2 more to play, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Match 16 will also be on Aaron Gale, so don't go getting ahead of yourself there, Dukes. I know you want to see who's qualified, but we are going to have to play all of the matches here. So Sovka Military Base over towards Stalba. It's only fitting we start the play from down here, where our last match ended, sending straight over the top of good memories. Well, quite a lot of good memories for Nolvu and the Falcons, and going over towards that Stalba position on the northeast side.
Yeah, it's a bit of an Eastern playing map here, so it's slightly more difficult. It's actually getting tough for me to talk about these games at the moment because there is so much happening, and there's so much to analyze. There's so much to go over. It's pretty tough for me. I mean, for Wolves there in that last game, I really wanted to talk about their position a little bit more, just because it is a case of, as that 3-man, you no longer have the power to split off like that, and you sort of have to suffer a little bit where you don't have that angle off towards the western side to watch for approaches, but you have to hold that ditch as a 3-man because it's likely people are going to crash onto you. So this is what I mean by just these small errors in gameplay. Again, hindsight's 2020, and
oh, no.
I'm out here up the observing desk.
Oh no!
The double is insane. Maybe I cursed him out. I said I wanted to see it yesterday, give it to him. It's like, oh, fair enough. We'll give you 2 today. Fair play. APG get a nice start. They got immediately over towards Millie Base as we started down there nice and early. The difficulty comes in the fact that this moves away from Millie Base at that plane path. So if this is coming down from Kameshki towards the south, teams that are dropping late could have readjusted on their plane path, on their parachutes down towards Military Base. In this case, it's really only Gen G and GS who get a decent start off the back of this one. So another game potentially for Reject as well as Tiamba, who both start very close to this location and try and lift themselves out, but it's getting very far ahead of them now. It loops with 74 points for 51 and 50 apiece for Reject as well as Tiamba.
I mean, the major difference on this West Bridge is Gen G being here, right? Goat had a pretty free and clear rotate over last time. If Gen G pull up and cause a fight to start here, Falcons, we saw they wanted to rotate fast early. This is the same circle, the same decision. I don't think too many teams will have had time to fully review what happened there, except for maybe Goat on that rotation. They'll know that Falcons move fast. But if they get stuck down in a fight here, the Falcons are going to crash straight into the back of it. This 3-team traffic jam didn't exist in the last. And GS are holding the East Bridge in the meantime, by the way. We'll see just how sticky this spot can be, because Tiamba moving in. This is on the East Bridge now. There is a roadblock. There is the caltrop set out. They're looking for the backstop player. They're looking to try and disparage them from getting on forwards. Dez has to drop down, though, and that's where the backup needs to come through from Jafar. It's there in spades. Buckets of bullets pouring down on the bridge. And now the off angles are brilliant coming on through. There's finally an answer from Tiamba, but it's too little too late. They've lost the majority of their players. Nobody else is pushing in right now on this East Bridge either, Blank. So no chance that GS get run down by a third party.
I think it's one of the few times where I think you just like send it. You just send it if you are Tiamba. The initial shots weren't that great from GS. I think Tiamba respects it a little bit too much. They crashed just directly into the wall before they'd taken barely any damage. I don't know if it was the optimal play there in that instance. Again, it's one of those things where it could have gone either way. Tiamba drops out, they get the first 2 knocks, and then it's easier to play from there. But I think that really hurts Tiamba's chances, and I think they have to take a bit of a gamble on just the straight approach into the zone. Nepturo actually brings up a really good point about Falcons, where if they get another strong game here, potentially is the initial rotations. Now, me and you have been covering PMSL EU for the longest time, John, and we know that the Falcons are some of the slowest to rotate. Because they play Pachinki so much, they already have this central position. I actually think that that position hurts them a lot. It is one of the strongest locations in the map because it is so central, but it's made for this almost stagnant gameplay coming through from Falcons, where they don't make these initial rotates to strong positions. They'd rather play Church on the west side of Pachinki and wait things out if it's a western circle. I think here, because we do go to Sosnovka, it forces Falcons to take risks, to make moves, which they wouldn't necessarily otherwise go for. And they're benefiting from it, which says a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they are now, after that game, very much in with a chance of getting top 3 here as well, Blank, is going to be great news. And they'll love to see a game that they just succeeded on very, very... in a very big way, right? Repeat itself, hopefully. But the second circle on last match was also a big factor. It forced a lot of teams to move to the north side of the island after having tried to rotate around, occupying a lot of the area, a lot of the ground around there. So that was a big factor in the dynamic of that last zone, of that last match. We'll see where we're going to go this time around. But at the moment, Falcons on the south coast with Gen G, who went across the bridge very, very early.
So they scout that out, and they're going to peel back off this one. No reason to try and push this. And they've already scouted out a huge amount of space on the western side. Sadly, this is eastern leaning on the circle, so it could be further over towards where Observatory is. Alpha Gaming actually goes for a different maneuver. You know, they'll take Observatory for themselves, try and get that high ground nice and early. I think for Alpha Gaming, it's almost weird where I think that this team will perform even better than they have here over in the grand finals. I think that sometimes there is a sense of boredom that comes through from this team at times, where they really do want to get stuck into things. They don't like playing slow. And they are so good at the game. And I think that does create difficulties for them. That's a sad shot. That's a sad shot from the Observer. It's like looking at the beached buggy from Tiamba before they fell down. It's like, oh, like I was watching a funeral.
Well, you know, you got to celebrate him somehow, I suppose, whatever you can. Papa Supermassive still embroiled in Milter, though, with Loops, who are able to find Tron B. No answer either. A little bit of damage, but I mean, this should be extricable for Loops. Neither team really wants to stay here for too long, though, Blank. I mean, there is a lot more of the North Island in this circle than in that first match that we saw today on Erangel. So you do have maybe a little bit more time. The circle could also still... it's got maybe like a 10 to 15% chance of going back to the mainland. It's very unlikely, but is technically possible. We'll have to wait and see for that one. So maybe a little bit more time, on average, they could go for it. And especially with the state of this east side bridge, it's maybe actually safer to stay in Milter for the time being.
Yeah, I think so. It's getting very messy around this region. Reject actually get there quite early, so because they were moving so quickly, they passed straight by from the northern beachhead. Could come back to bite them. I think they're trying to control as much area as possible. For OG, it's a long rotate for them down towards the south side. Very difficult stuff to make this one happen, but it's certainly possible. I think maybe potentially going for the Western Bridge might be a slightly better idea if you are late to this. And there are a lot of teams that play over towards the eastern side. With this being Eastern Plane Path 2, that's most likely the locale that teams are going to be passing through. I think Inner Circle realizes that as well, and they're going to pass over towards the west, which just actually cuts out a lot of teams for them they'll have to go up against. Is Papa Supermassive up against Loops? Loops, the most in danger right now, falling down into the bottom 5 at 75 points, just 5 points clear from GS.
Yeah, it's real rough stuff on that 11th place bubble. Obviously, we're playing in with 2 bubbles on this blank. If you were looking at the top 3, we were expecting it to be somewhere around 140. That's what we saw from Gauntlets on the same number of matches. It was 141, I think, and 4th place was 140. So very, very close. Could be around there. Could be a little bit different. So if you're up and over about 150, that's where you start to feel pretty good about yourself, right? That's where you start to feel a lot safer in terms of that top 3. And then we're playing with the 11th place bubble, which is not easy at all as well. It seems to be very, very closely fought. Probably going to be closer to around that 90-point boundary. So getting up and over 100 sees you a lot more secure into those at least last chance stages.
There are teams now breaking into that as well. Even towards the middle of the pack. I mean, Papa Supermassive is not far off breaking that century. Valo spots out Wolves, who a little bit too close for comfort. I think this should be a pre-elim. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I think he's stepping too far there. I was very worried. I think any other team but Reject,
French greed.
Valo might have gone down there.
He wants those points, man. He wants to bump himself up in the tables.
Fair.
I respect him for it. But you are right. I think that what you said at the start of the game is very pertinent here, where Falcons actually are in with the running now. I think there's only one spot up for grabs, personally. I don't see D+ putting on the brakes anytime soon. I think Alpha Gaming have done more than enough this tournament. I think personally, if you're an Alpha Gaming fan and you're looking how they're playing today, it might not look flashy, but they're playing slow because they just want to get regular points, consistent points. And that's even if they just play like this, there is going to be a game today where Alpha Gaming has a strong position and they win from it because they can. And I think that will see Alpha Gaming through towards the grand finals, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it as well. I think Top in particular, you know, having a wife and 3 kids and a kid, right? It's a lot to juggle. It's a lot to juggle, but it just shows that even at 26, like, you can still perform extremely well as long as you have the grind on. It's incredible.
Well, Loops have been on the grind here for a while, trying to get on into the zone, but they've had to go all the way to the west side, and OG might draw them short here. Lots of damage already felt by both of these teams by the blue zone. We're into stage 3, so it's non-trivial to deal with. Milzada, a nade in. Oh, shotgun shut down there on a tanky. I don't think that's going to be resable, but there's the off angle they were looking for. I think did that come through from Aru? No, it's the burn coming through from a tanky with that Molotov. And both teams are going to start to lose players. I think disengaging, if you can, is fairly wise at this stage. OG going to try and make a run for it. Loops maybe actually getting this res here. It is still resable for just a moment longer. We'll see if they can make it work. And yeah, OG, off they go on the bike or buggy or whatever they can find.
It's a very, very tough approach here for OG. And again, this is what I meant earlier, where I think this Western Bridge is probably the more wise decision. It takes a while to get here, but OG definitely make it. They're going to take a quick scout over the bridge, quick reset on the meds, but there's no one waiting here. Why is Alter Ego still on the north side?
The analyst chat is lighting up with it.
Worried? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that it seems like they're very worried about what's going on the other end of things. Again, it is hard to scout that far across. And I think that they have seen multiple times that teams have been held out in this location. Come on.
They're still not going for it.
You got to make the cross at some point. I am worried that what they're going to do is they're going to go for the swim, in which case they give up a lot of vehicles.
They're just refueling. Don't worry. They just stopped off for snacks. That's what it is. Alva was hungry, guys. It's all just in aid of a full stomach. Can't be taking gunfights on an empty stomach.
Come on, we're getting to stage 4. And 9Z is coming in behind them right now.
Maybe they're not waiting. Maybe they're the ones bridge camping.
Maybe. Come on.
I mean, that's the
time
only
to
thing
go now. It's time to go now. Thank you. You
can't get yourself picked back up after this stage as well. So very dangerous to stay out this long.
Very much a situation of AE there yet. Slightly bit more of a tongue twist than I thought that was going to be.
It's 2 letters, mate.
But they've got a cross. They have got a cross. Circle back over towards D+. Over on this north side, playing the hilltop. I think this is a messy circle. It's a very messy circle where you're over towards Millie base as well. We are cutting in a little bit of airstrip, which isn't too comfortable to play in. I think Wolves want to get out of that area as soon as possible. Great shots from Alpha Gaming, though. Goodness me.
Ooh, okay. Shots down towards Alter Ego. They'll need to pick these reses up as fast as they can to get onto this next zone. D+ ahead of them to their west. You've got 9Z who actually, rather shockingly, just sends straight on through, but straight into Reject. Already they're getting torn to pieces. Reject very happy to see some points delivered to them. The question is, can they find the shots? Can they find those shutdowns? There's only one left on the inside. I don't think it's going to last too long here. Reject looking for the last player on the end. A rotate in. Comes through as we see a crash from Team Secret. They're still alive, by the way, in the picture-in-picture on the north side, actually, towards Loops, who might be in a bit of trouble. Can't quite find their way in here. Milos is just trying to hide in the corner. This is really nasty. I mean, step out. This is a shotgun. This is a shotgun bonanza. If he steps out at the right time, there's one. Looks for the next as well. Gets the flush. That's huge. Has to go for the reload though. And now Reject are on the revenge path. They lose one player, but they do shut him down.
Oh, that's disappointing, man. You know, it's just one guy in there, just re-peak. I suppose that they did set up the compound quite well in terms of the 2 monster trucks denying the entry towards the window. So if they get crashed on, that's how they defend versus 9C. But that is a situation where you should be able to hold out as 4 and just refrag onto the player. The fact they lose one there is really bad. From a central position like this, it's really not good. I also think that there is something to be said here about 9Z, where although, you know, they're on 87 points, they've had some good games, there is a lot of impatience from this squad. If they can't find a good position early into the match, they will just send it. And oftentimes, they will just find themselves in really sticky spots on the map.
I mean, to be fair, you don't expect the team to be bridge camping you on the east in that scenario, right? Like, it maybe really confused them, but that's the sort of thing, I guess, you also can't afford to be able to get confused in a scenario.
I mean,
like
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sending center.
Oh, yeah, but like
Reject.
after that, you're like, oh, we got to go. There's obviously a big roadblock ahead of us. We've just got to go for a mad dash,
You
right?
can also
Like,
just play on the edge.
You must assume if there's a team still on that bridge, that there are teams ahead of them, right? So you assume that the ground in front of them is very, very full. I'm really trying to give them as much leeway as possible here, and I will admit, maybe I shouldn't. Papram Supermassive, though, down to their last player against Loops, and they're not having a good time of it. That is going to be Papra Supermassive eliminated, and Loops are up to 9 elims, Blank. You said they were the team that's most in danger of dropping down. Well, they are certainly acting like it.
Yeah, and again, the more points that Loops gets in this match, the harder life becomes for a lot of our teams underneath. I mean, for Reject and Tiamba, I think Tiamba, it's done now. I think it is done. I think for Tiamba, it is almost impossible for them to get back up towards that top side. Genji looking to head over towards GS, who are also chasing. I think GS are also struggling, but likely will retain a place.
Oh, Falcons. They're moving in. I think Redox
inside
might be
the bottom 5.
Quick has to hit the deck. Falcons know exactly where he is. That'll be pinged out on the vehicles, but they are pulling back a little bit. Icon taken down. That is the last player of GS, and that is APG rocking up to this one as well. The Falcons on the far side really causing some hurt, some pain there. So they're up to 5 elims. APG as well, looking to tip themselves up and over. They've broken that barrier that we were talking about. They're over 140 now, and they want one more at least. Dammy under pressure from these nades, has to reposition with the Falcons flying into that far hillside as well. He's not going to last too much longer. Up to 142, and the placements are going to kick in soon as well.
Yeah, for Alpha, all this is right about now is just not giving up first place. The jump up in prize pool between second and first place is quite a lot in most PUBG Mobile tournaments. We still reward our top 3 very handsomely, but it's usually first place who does take the biggest cut of the prize. And I think that, to be fair, for Alpha, they were playing it fairly slow because they knew that they were holding on to first place. But as soon as D+ started turning up the heat, they knew they needed to get a little bit of a game in. And this one's been good. I mean, even taking the opportunity to move over towards Observatory, that's very unlike Alpha Gaming. Okay, takes Krypton along with him in the vehicle. I think that, you know what I would quite like to know is how many vehicle eliminations Doc's had this group green. I think we're up to 6 or 7 now at this point, which is more than I think we've ever had in any one tournament.
Oh dear. He is certainly a terror behind the wheel. Whoever gave him a driving license, I'm sure they're regretting that one. As we take a look over towards the rest of this game, though, teams are starting to fall fairly quickly now, Blank. The hilltops to the north, fairly convincingly under control by D+. It's Inner Circle. Again, that fight for the top spots here. 3rd place, very, very closely fought between GOAT and Inner Circle. Losing players here would be nasty. They've already taken a lot of damage, and as D+ they're up against, Osal has the off angle, and GOAT are taking shots as well. Oh no, Inner Circle having a really bad time, but they've still got Falak. What can he do here? Favian close by, but backing off to find chips on the res.
D+. Chips goes down. Nade over the top towards Falak. Does get a lot of damage done. Favian over towards Falak. We'll find it. So that's Inner Circle, taking a lot of damage. They should be able to hit the chips back up. It's nice to see.
I mean, this is really Reject's game right now, with one player from Inner Circle to fall down. It's D+ with a central position. It's kind of D+ versus Reject again, Blank. In this circle, the southeast side that we see on the picture-in-picture is APG versus Falcons. P24 is going to give it a good go. Does find Nolbu, but going to get taken down in response, and yeah, that's going to get flushed out. IQ is actually still alive in all of this. He did manage to get out of that fight. I am still focused, though, on this fight on the southeast side as we zap on over to it. Falcons with 4, APG with 4 as well. Haven't really been able to find success on either front of that, and APG disengage. They're moving up to the hills to the north and maybe look at a fight D+.
I think for D+, try this fight between D+ and Alpha Gaming, which probably will break out towards the end here, will be the fight of the day. Very excited to see this one happen. Falcons need to break wide, though. Currently, Zhol is holding this spot. For the Falcons, we did speak about this at the start of the game, that there is a big chance to jump up above Inner Circle, above GOAT into that top position. And honestly, if we get Alpha Gaming, D+, Falcons in the top 3, whew, what a lineup that will be going through to the grand finals. It'll be unreal.
I mean, I don't think going into today anyone would have called Falcons with a chance.
But this last day, it's the last day always. It's always the last day for the Falcons.
It does seem to be, doesn't it? There's something about it. They have a potent resurgence built within them. Built different somehow.
It's curious as well, because usually Alpha Gaming's like the team that is the last day champions, where in that final day, Alpha Gaming is known to put up a disgusting performance. But right now, they are taking 2 knocks straight away. Falcons equally are suffering versus the Wolves. Just Doran here, actually.
Oh, no. What?
Way!
Yeah, top 3, the Falcons, APG, TK. Oh, yes. Hang on a minute. Doran? You can't be doing that.
Close the Doran door right in the face.
Oh.
I'm sorry I didn't give that too much fanfare. It honestly, it felt like, oh, okay, he's gonna get 1, he's gonna get 2, and then Falcons will clean this up. Surely. You do not see 1v4s in international. I cannot believe Doran pulled that off.
I mean, blink and you miss it, right? Doran was... Oh my God. Okay. Well, Wolves, again, not really probably going to get too much out of this game, but certainly ruin it for the Falcons. The decision to crash onto Doran for the Falcons, though, might be an interesting one here, Blank. It feels like...
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Okay, sure, you can transition towards Reject later on, potentially. They're right on the end of the circle with it, though.
I mean, Alpha had that lineup. They couldn't really crash that way on the East. Also, if they do that, Reject have sight lines. I think you don't see many players, if at all, over towards the silos. So you just send it, and you get soloed. I don't think the decision-making was poor. I think the gunfight was terrible. But the decision-making, I don't think there was an issue of it.
I mean, we need a replay of that at some point. Hopefully the desk will have that locked down, because Doran's going off right now. Maybe he's going to do it again. He's got a lot of smoke to play around. He's going to get up to the wall. Reject don't want to let him cross, but they don't really have too many options right now with the smoke cover.
I do like for Doran, he's now just using the entirety of Falcon's utility to cross 20 meters.
Oh, dear.
I'll show you guys how to use util.
Oh, my God. Doran. Reject's like, where's he getting all these smokes from? What? Why is it more than one dude? What's going on?
Some kind of nimbus cloud off in the distance.
Oh, dear. Well, he's made it to the wall.
Great job. We did it.
That's so many smokes. That's insane. OG getting found on their last player. That's Goat to pick it up. Goat have been down on their belt buckles for a while as well, trying to crawl across the open ground. 5 teams remain. 8 eliminations for APG as well on this match. They've only got 2 remaining. Doran. No.
Come on.
You gotta stop, man. You've got to. You cannot be allowed to do stuff like this. Kraken has to hit the deck. They can't really take free fights here. Doran steps up for another. No, Doran.
Crazy.
You can't do this. You can't do this. This is PMGC. It's not allowed. Someone put him to bed. It's his bedtime. Surely he's out of this game. No, Doran! Stop it! Don't go down to the Giant Slayer! What is this man doing? He is absolutely crazy!
Oh, dear me. Doran will not let you get a foot in towards this circle. A 1v4 into a 1v3. This is magic on the main stage. We talked about rabbits out of a hat, but right now, Doran's making this look easy. Gets up to the wall as well. Probably should go down to this nade, though, but goodness me, what a game it's been from him.
Okay. Oh my days. It looks like the nightmare's ended though. And now we're up to the hilltops. APG on 2 players alive. They've got a lot, but it's D+ again in this late game on a military island circle. They find top, and now they're looking for Ziol around the corner as well. 3rd place guaranteed for APG. At least that will put them over 150. Or maybe not quite. If they can get another Elim, that's what they'll be looking for. But still very, very close. Very comfortable to be in the top 3. Our first team to really, truly lock it down towards those spots. D+ want to join them, though. And with a chicken dinner, you think that they might be able to. A Reject, again, in a late game circle. 6 Elims. It's almost more important for Reject than anybody else right now.
It absolutely is. For Reject, they want the chicken dinner, but they got 2 big dogs in the lobby, and right now they're the Chihuahuas. Let's see if they can make it happen versus the best of them. Ziol takes some shots off and towards the distance. They do have the low ground to play at the moment, do Reject. They have vehicles as well, which is the main thing, but D+ continues to send nades their way, keep them backed off from their position. D+ looking to fight out for those bragging rights at the top of the tables.
I mean, Reject have the center of the circle, though. D+ are sure they've got a higher ground position, they've got an angle, but they're going to have to move. The point's denied from APG.
It's mean.
They actually picked up the res in order to deny an extra point there, which is kind of nasty. To the blue zone it goes, but now D+ versus Reject. Already a good game for Reject, but they desperately need this chicken dinner to stay alive in this tournament, to jump up towards that 11th place bubble. Nate's going a little bit long onto Ragey. Downhill, it's always a little bit tougher.
If a Reject, they need the chicken dinner. Like you say, it's imperative that they get it. It's not a case of, oh, it would be nice for Reject to have a chicken dinner. At this point in time, it is a case of, it's required. It is a necessary procedure for Reject to grab a chicken dinner here to finish out this game and give them that chance, because I think even with a chicken dinner here, it doesn't take them out from the bottom 5, but it will be the first stepping stone for them.
D+ starting to run a little bit lower on those nades. You can see they've only got 3 remaining. Ragey cooking another. If he finds a knock, this would be huge. The Molotov, probably a wiser decision. Force Ragey off of the tree. The question is, does it land on spot? It definitely did. Look at that damage tick away. He has to fall all the way back to the vehicle. That's going to be a lot easier for D+ to go on towards. They know the damage is there, and they have to go over the top now. Spray down towards Divine. D+ trying to stop Reject from getting on in. And Ragey looks for the spray down, a wild rollout here, and Apollo finds it. Osal is down. They do not find the backlines. They haven't got a knock yet, and there's another one onto Fabian. D+ is starting to fall blank. It's now 3v2. Reject have the inside of the circle. They are desperately climbing towards those tables, towards that 11th place, but Ragey will finally go down to the nade. One more left. Look on for Apollo. Nolbu with the chance here, and it's going short of the tree trunk.
Divine's down, leaving it all down to Apollo in a 1v2. An impossible task ahead of him. Pulls the pin on the grenade. Reject looking to reject defeat here in the face of impossible odds.
No,
it's not meant to be.
Oh no, they can't get all the way across the line. D+, take it away from them. Still not a smile in sight. They are so cool, calm, and collected. Into the top 3 with them. They looked pretty solid before. Now even more so, but Reject in tatters. A lot of points, but is it enough?
Absolutely not. I think for Reject, they did get some of the flushes towards the end there. 6 points total. You can see that they are absolutely dismayed about that one. But again, it is a little further down on this journey for them, because it's a long way coming that they need to go to get out from that bottom 5, but they're getting some successes today. There's still 3 more matches to make it happen, but Reject historically, those Miramars haven't been fantastical for them. I can only hope that they can continue here, John, with these strong performances, but for D+, it is another big game in the pocket.
With that insane chicken dinner, I think D+ might have just secured their position to the grand finals. And how do they win this game, Max? Back against the wall, so little time left. They had to hit those knocks, crazy rotation on the end, but then Chips just said, nah, I'm gonna hit these shots, and they shut Reject down. What a game.
Oh wait, D+1? I was just looking at Doran the entire time. I thought he won. No, but genuinely, for D+, such a good game, playing this high ground position for a majority of this game, right, Niptura, just having so much control on the entirety of this lobby. And again, what did we say the last game? This is why you hold on to your utility. Those nades made that transition from high ground to low ground so much smoother for D+. And even then, it wasn't easy to execute as Chips. He's popping off, and he's back to being MVP of the game for sure.
Yeah, and really, really nice stuff coming in from them. The control, what we saw there. Even, you know, IC being able to push up earlier on in the game. I didn't hate the push. It was a good idea. It was pretty well executed, but that third party just helped DK to just overrun them and get rid of that threat. And after that, nobody really looked at them very much. So really love to see that coming in from them. Talk about utility, though, Max. I do want to just point out the smokes for Rejects looked really, really good, actually. They were were having, they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and they were doing it as much as possible. I really liked the smokes coming out from them. It just gave them a little bit more space to work with and just really effectively blocked out DK sightlines.
Yeah, as Blank said, you know, another team now that became a Nimbus Cloud. It was not Doran, it was the entirety of Reject. I really enjoy that one. But no, Reject, as you said, really good piece of utility, keeping them safe from the off angles of APG. And one good point spotted out by John during this game, actually APG going for a revive to then deny just takes the extra point out of the equation. It's a small thing, but again, when you're competing for top 3, that can really have such a big impact that could really have a devastating effect on the leaderboards.
I mean, we saw last year, right? Last year's PMGC was decided by just 1 point, right? So, I mean, anything you could possibly do, you got to pull all the stops out right here. By the way, nice little setup there on the bridge from GS. That shut down Tianbuff, and with that one, I think they are completely out of this match, man. But you know what? I finally figured out what Chips, kind of Chips is, Max, man. It's Ice Chips.
What is he?
That man's cold, dude. So cold towards the end. I kid you not. Ice water in his veins. When it comes down to like those super clutch moments, he shows that, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. Beautifully done there.
It really is just levels of rivalry like Sanji and Zoro in One Piece. They're just like, I'm MVP. No, I'm MVP. I love that kind of storyline. Someone needs to make an edit on Instagram. That will pop off. I'm telling you that much, but it would be great. But
no, edit this.
Part, though. 1, the 2. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, no, Malo, I feel you, bro. I would do the same thing if I were you.
Oh, you know what I love though? That's insane. This is insane. But you know what I love? It's like, listen, guys, Falcons, it wasn't you. It was just Doran, because he turns around and goes down goats the exact same way. Doran, man. What an MVP coming in here, Max.
I can just hear Novalo say, oh, bordel, right after that happened. Just the full French anger coming out. But another military island, Hodrix. Like, are we going to get a third one? Okay.
Bring it back. Let's go.
Hey,
one
do it
more
again.
time.
Oh, my. I can't even break down rotations here, but of course, teams that go on the bridge rotations early on are going to be given a significant advantage. D+ here, though, taking it a bit slower, able to play the northern edge instead and pushing away Reject. Good plan from them, Niptura. Respectful. We don't want to take an early game fight and take an early casualty. That's really going to hinder our chances for a win. But everyone's fighting, and D+, big chilling. We got the high ground.
You know what? I got a question.
Away. This is easy pickings.
Niptura, I got a question for you, right?
Yes.
When it comes to Reject, all right, would you want another military base finish? Right. And the reason why I asked that is because back-to-back militaries, they put up some decent points, right? But the problem is, Loops put up 9 eliminations. You can see it right there. And that, I mean, yeah, I mean, the difference was 23 points. So even though they put up 14, they only move up 5. So if you're Reject, do you even want to go military again?
You know what? I actually wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all, because I think it would be an interesting thing, because we see D+ get the back-to-back. We see Rejects get a back-to-back top 2, right? So I'm very interested to see if it does go there again, how they're going to play it. My only concern would be other teams now are going to be trying to do something different, so they're not predictable, and that might put RC in a little bit of a disadvantage.
Just drop there at that point, you know. Just compete with APG, you know, for all the means, just send it. But no, looking at the leaderboards, I feel like we have to seal the fate of some teams here, Hodrix. Team Secret, 0 points. Tiamba, 0 points. For me, game over. For me, those teams, you're going home after this. I don't see a comeback. Not only mathematically speaking, but also in terms of their presence on the battlegrounds. It's just, we haven't seen anything. So for me, Team Secret, Tiamba, it's game over.
I agree 100%. And that's going to mix things up for sure, right? Because right now we're going to have 2 teams for sure that we know are not going to make it to that last chance stage. And guess what, Niptura? That means they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, that is so true, especially when you go, it's the final Erangel, we can just go all for it. It's the, and you know, game 6 as well, it's going to be the final game, we can just go all out. And yeah, as we look at these leaderboards, there's reason to do that, right? The top 3 looking pretty solid, maybe down to 6th place could really just try and snatch that 3rd place away from GOAT, but it's looking like the first 2 now kind of have run away with it, Max.
I'm looking at the bottom of the leaderboards in particular here. Reject 65 points. They started off the day with 38, man. They're having their best day so far by a significant margin too, and they're just shy of pushing themselves finally out of the bottom 5, Hodrix. But they need to keep going. They can't stop now. Reject, if we want to see one Japanese team in the finals, it can only be them.
Well, let's see if it's gonna be, but get your popcorn ready. We're gonna be right back after this break.
Gua ingin meloloskan tim inilah ke grand final karena 2 kali PMGC kita nggak lolos kan.
The emotion driving me is like probably a bit of regret. We were so close, especially in the last games. We were top 1 and then we dropped down to top 3.
이제 저희가 작년 세계대회에 우승했던 것만큼 압박도 있고
去年はなかなか世界大会優勝、PMG を優勝ということもあって、モチベーションがなかなか保てずにいて、PMGC に出場することすらできなかったんですけど。
I would definitely say I'm coming back for redemption this time. I believe this is my moment to win PMGC this year. I have a really good team. We prepared really well. So if there's a chance to win it, I think this is it.
없다고는 생각 안 하는데 저희가 또 PMGC에 왔으니까 저희가 열심히 하고 또 실수하지 않으면은 우승할 수 있다고 생각해요.
Aku senang banget sih di saat ini kita bisa kembali lagi di PMGC yang dimana kita salah satu tim satu-satunya Indonesia yang bermain di sini. 私たちはこれまでにも世界の舞台で強烈なデビューを飾り、このチームがどれほどの実力を持っているかを証明しました。チームメイトを信じていますし、再びやり遂げられると本気で思っています。
I would say I want people to remember that I always tried hard, and no matter what the result, I showed up in a good way.
Sekarang waktunya kita untuk membawa piala ke Indonesia lagi.
目標はシンプルです。グランドファイナルに進出し、世界タイトルを取ること。今回は PMGCトロフィーを持ち帰ります。
저희가 더 열심히 해서 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
We're getting closer to find out which 3 teams will be going to the finals from Group Green and which 5 teams will be eliminated and which 8 teams are going to go to last chance. I'm joined by none other than Snape from Alter Ego. Alter Ego currently not having the best performing day in comparison to what we've seen in the past 2 days. For this squad, what is the plan for the remaining 3 matches to make sure that you can actually get up there in the top 3?
Oke, Snip, kalau kita lihat performa AE sekarang tidaklah begitu yang seperti kita lihat dari hari-hari kemarin. Ya, apa rencana AE dan juga Snip buat sisa 3 game lagi nih?
Paling dari kita karena 3 game sebelumnya nggak berjalan baik. Game 3 selanjutnya mungkin kita harus menjaga dari kayak mentalitas dari setiap individu ya. Jadi kayak dari kepercayaan diri sama semangat tuh harus yang kayak kayak biasa aja lah. Yang kayak ya tetap harus percaya diri sih. Itu paling dari sisa 3 matchnya. Kalau dari segi makro nggak begitu banyak berubah lah kalau dari kita.
Yeah, I mean, we not really perform on the first 3 match. I think for the last remaining 3 match, it's the game of like mentality. I think for each individual, they still need to like prepare their mentality. They need to be that confident. It's because right now it's not about macro, it's not about micro, it's about the mentality itself. So we're looking forward for the next 3 game.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that that mentality is going to shine through. I'm pretty sure all of Indonesia is going to be hoping for that. Thank you so much, Terima kasih. And I have none other than Rafinha here from Loops Esports. It feels like history is currently repeating itself. Last year at PMGC, you were able to qualify to last chance via 11th place. Right now, you are in 11th place as well. How will you be approaching the last 3 games to make sure you can make it to last chance?
Então, ano passado, no PMGC, vocês acabaram classificando para o Last Chance em 11º lugar de novo. E agora vocês estão no mesmo lugar. Então, como é que vocês vão fazer esse approach para o próximo jogo, para os 3 últimos jogos finais?
Bom, a gente está aplicando hoje aquilo que foi planejado nos 2 primeiros dias. E a gente vai tentar manter essa pegada. Começamos muito bem as 3 primeiras partidas. Então é manter e o top 3 ainda é uma realidade. Então continuar mirando sempre no topo. E é isso, atingiremos.
So we would continue to apply all the knowledge that we have in the game, and we were planning for the two days. But we are really happy. We started with like 3 very good matches, and we are happy. We are aiming for the top 3, and yes.
Hopefully that's going to be the case, because good thing you had those 3 matches. You have had a resurgence from Reject. You see OG as well, currently playing with nothing to lose. Those teams are 18 and 19 points away from you. In the last 3 games, do you think that Reject or OG can catch you?
Então, a OG e a Reject estão bem próximos de vocês, né? Estão ali entre os 19 e 18 pontos. Você acha que eles conseguem pegar vocês?
Never.
Ooh, no need for translation on that one. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The final 3 games of Group Green are coming to you.
Never. That's what I like to hear right there. That is how you do it. I'll tell you what, though, from never to always, man. We got to show love to the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to be the one and outplay the rest on the global stage. I'll tell you what, Loops need to apply all that knowledge and then some if they want to make it into the top 3, because mathematically, it's still possible, right? With what we have left today, but it's going to require a massive, massive game here and now because these teams in the mid.
So I'm still waiting for his moment. He was for a time, right, the new generation of top tip players from Americas, and unfortunately ever since the end of last year we haven't really seen that kind of rise to fame and glory from Ratoboy. But I believe, Loops, you know what, there's still time, there's still 3 matches, there's still an opportunity for them to make that ascent.
Yeah, let's see if they can make that ascent coming up soon. But you know what, we heard close for sure. I think that we're going to see these next matches heat up like crazy because I mean every single one of these teams, they don't want to go to last chance, right? They want to make it into those finals. So how much percentage do you think we're going to see like the gameplay level up in these last 3 matches? What do you think?
I think 50%.
Cool.
I think 50%. It is a big increase because I think these teams are kind of holding out just a little bit, but they're definitely doing a lot here already. There's not that much holding back. There's just a little bit, but I think just the intensity from everybody is going to make this a really interesting last few games, especially if we look at the 4th to 6th place or even 4th to 8th really actually, because IC are at 104. In 8th place is Falcons with 96. That's less than 10 points away from a 4th place position for Falcons. So all of those teams in between there definitely going to be bringing in the heat in this next game.
I mean, if I can bring up a negative point here, it's Ultra Ego. I'm sorry, they had such a banger performance yesterday. There's nothing to show for it today. Really, this team just kind of disappeared. They've had some decent entry points and stuff, but when it comes to fights, I mean, look at this replay. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they're just getting completely squashed, literally, by the competition. And there's still time to make up for that maybe rough start of the day, unlike Doran, who clearly has redeemed everything here for his squad. But Ultra Ego here, Hodrix, this is the team that I need to see something from this next game, because otherwise, with how performant and consistent the top teams like APG and D+ currently are today, it's going to be tough to make that comeback.
For sure. I'm going to say it right here and now. I think we got 1 slot left available, and I think that's the 3rd place position with GOAT. Yeah, I mean, D+ have 139. They're playing so well. Alpha Gaming, they're putting up points regardless of the situation. I just think it's too tough to catch up with how chaotic these last 3 matches are going to be. That's in my opinion, you know? So, man, we just see the level up, right, towards these last game. And we just saw Doran, 7 eliminations all by himself. I'm going to tell you, if the Wolves somehow pull it out here and steal that 3rd spot away from GOAT, it's going to be 100% due to that one particular play. I mean, that's a huge difference maker right here, Max.
Could be. I'm actually, you know what? I want to talk about Doran real quick. The fact that we've had so many top tier players from Romania in the past, like I'm sure some people are going to remember Eastern Stars. I'm sure that's going to be a callback for some people. And you had Octavian, you had Kapahala, all those guys. And now the one player from that region, Niptura, from Romania, that still stands strong and is able to perform globally from Romania is Doran. You would have told me like years ago, I would have said there's no way, but no, he is the guy who stood up and is still here to this day.
Gosh, that's just a blast from the past. You took me back 2-3 years there with some of those names, Max. But yeah, Doran, it's so nice to see a player stand out even back then, continuing to do his thing. He's still on top. He's still got it. It's really, really nice to see, especially at this level, right? PMGC, and you're able to get 7 eliminations on your own. 1v7 in PMGC is insane.
Hey, by the way, you're talking about Romania, Texas, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We claim him now, baby. He's on the Wolves. He's rocking that USA flag. That's 100% American. I love to see that. I love to see those plays, and you know, it's these crazy moments, these clutch moments that will just revitalize a squad. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you get in these high pressure situations, sometimes you need someone to make it happen. Hey, for D+, it's Chips in my eyes, right? Because anytime the going gets tough, you got to hit those hard peaks, that clutch shot. He's doing it for the squad. So, I mean, the fact that D+ has Chips and Nobu going crazy too, man, I mean, it's they're looking full steam ahead to make it to the finals. I'm a lock of it.
While we have a bit of time, I'm trying to think right now, who would be the group green MVP? Like, you got so many contenders. Of course, Chips.
Ooh, that's a good question.
You got Top for APG. Goad had some step-up players. Rosemary had some great games yesterday. Like, who would be the one to claim that one? I think it's really close. Way closer than what we had during Gauntlet, right? It showed that we kind of had a good inkling of who it would be. But right now, I'm not sure.
I think it's gonna be Chips, to be honest. And the reason I say that is because he was daily MVP yesterday. Was he? Yes. Yes, he was. And then today, we've also had a game from him where he was also MVP of that game, whereas Top has not. So Top was MVP day one, but the performance overall from Top has not been as standout as Chips continues to do. And so I think it is probably gonna Chips be just inching that one over the rest of the lobby.
That's a good pick. Who do you think, Hotjukes?
I think that's pretty close. I think it's pretty close right there. I think Alpha is not done yet because I think we saw them do that split in Rondo. That made me hype because I was like, you know what? Yeah, if you're gonna mix things up, you really only need one good game if you're Alpha Gaming to lock yourself in, right? The fact that they did that split and they sent Top, like one of their top fraggers out there to try to get some eliminations, I thought was a brilliant play. I think that if they get a normal set, there's no pressure at all on this squad, as opposed to everybody else, pretty much for the most part, Max.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I just cheated a little bit. I just looked. It's currently in order, top 5 MVPs for day 1, day 2, not day 3, but it was Top, Nolbu, Rosemary, Falak, and then Chips. So Chips actually way lower than I expected him to. That's kind of a surprise. Wow.
I'm so surprised by that, but I suppose MVP for the team maybe isn't MVP for the lobby, right? He's doing things for the team, but maybe the other guys are just out eclipsing him just that little bit more.
Well, man, now is the time, folks. You gotta put up some points right here, right now. It's the grassy lands of Arigale for the final time today. John, Blank, who's gonna win this one? Tell me. I want to know.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like Doran's going to win this one. I don't know who he's playing for or whatever. I'm all about him, right? That seems to be the case. He could just take on the entire world on his lonesome. Wow, wow, wow. What a monumental achievement in that last game. But all jokes aside, it's definitely Team Secret winning.
Do you think Team Secret's getting a win here?
100%. Every time, it's Team Secret. No doubt in my mind.
Maybe another Sosnovka circle, potentially. That could be certainly interesting. I think the players would probably hate it, though. But yeah, we are getting another game. Probably back to normality, maybe, I hope. In terms of the circle, 2 games in a row that favored over towards Reject, and their immediate rotate across towards Sosnovka was very much needed for them to try and get themselves out from the bottom 5. I think that they are very lucky that they got the double Sosnovka, but they also played it fairly well to get towards 2 endgame finishes. Not quite the chicken dinner, though. Definitely a possibility on that last match, but not quite able to pull it off. The squad's out nice and early, though, and the circle is far east. So no worries on that Sosnovka finish this time around. Alter Ego get to head up towards that north side around Lepovka Mansion split, so they should have a decent start in this game.
Yeah, that east side will be the focus now, as they send it on in. Nicely dropping down here. No roadblocks around those bridges. Now, we were looking a lot at the Falcons over that last match, right? And Doran was looking at them too. But the thing that they really adjusted in those last 2 matches was the speed at which they rotated in the start of the match, right? Away from Pachinki. They have to rotate again this match. The question is, will it be as fast without the pressure of a military circle?
I don't think so. Unless something has to change in the calling structure of the team, I don't think it's going to be a fast rotate from them. I think that the odd thing for the Falcons is how are they going to bounce back after that last game. Getting 1v4'd is never a good feeling, even in your games at home. It feels even worse on a global stage. So I do think for the Falcons, they might be reeling from that. And again, it's unfortunate because I think the other games of the day were pretty good, honestly, and successful. And even that rotate there was not the incorrect decision. And I'm hoping it doesn't set up a mental block for them going forward, because it certainly could do. I think for the Wolves, that game might have cleared those heads, though, right? That's the big thing. You could be happy with how Doran performed there and hope to do him proud in this game.
I mean, the difficulty, though, for all of those teams is that third place is still moving, and GOAT on 112 has a little bit of a lead. We were saying it before, right, that APG and DK at this point, if they're able to get 10 more points in today's matches, they've got 3 matches to do just that. They're locked in. They're pretty much locked in already. It is a question of who's going to join them. And all the way down to the Falcons have a really solid chance of getting there, right? With a good game, they're on top of that pack. From 112 down to 96, I mean, you know, it's not easy, but a 16-point gap can be made up fairly quickly if you're able to get into those late games.
GOAT's hold is tenuous, to say the least, over in third place. D+ being 10 points behind Alpha Gaming is certainly not something I would have predicted after the end of day 1, but yeah, here we are, which is very cool to see, honestly. The reigning champions having some of those life signs come back into effect, as D+ do rotate straight away from Rozhok. They get a nice east side start here for them. Towards the center of the circle as well, they should be able to get towards. But you're right, there is a lot of teams towards the middle of the pack, pretty much from 8th upwards, that can challenge for that third place. Though at any moment, there is this case that any moment GOAT could change that. Because if GOAT get a 20-point game in any of our next 3 matches, it does become very hard to catch up to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still just out of reach to really say who our top 3 are looking likely to be. We know who 2 of them are very likely to be, but yeah, absolutely. And then down towards 11th place as well, there is a bit of danger there. It's in general less likely that they'll find those big 20-pointers, but it's definitely possible, right? From probably, I mean, it would be difficult for OG and Reject to make it, but it's still just sort of on the doorstep. But certainly GS have a chance. Loops, GS, Gen G, sorry, and 97G, they're sort of in this state of flux right now, with GS definitely behind that pack. But whose spot would they take with a big game? That remains to be seen.
Let's take a look at the center of the circle at the moment. 9Z coming in from Yasnaya. They do have an outpost down towards the south side, scouting. D+ also moving their way in. Reject so far have done a fairly good job to start moving up towards the top side of the middle of the lobby, let's say, at least not the top side at all. But currently in 13th place. They're still a hefty 18 points behind, though. And that, again, there's a lot of points to be gained. It does require Loops to not have a great game either. So for Reject, they just have to keep pushing all day. For GS, it's a little bit of an easier story, from 71 up to 83, and we've seen GS make some fairly decent maneuvers. It's still feeling hit or miss with that squad. For OG, only 1 point behind Reject. I think OG is the cutoff of teams that are able to get in towards last chance here, being at 64 points. But again, that is another strong set of 3 games for that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very difficult. Again, we were thinking about that bubble towards the lower end being somewhere around the 90s, maybe low 90s, could be pushing up a little bit, especially given where we sit right now. It is very difficult to imagine that Tiamba are going to be able to get 40 points in 3 matches. And for Team Secret, 70 points, no. It's impossible. Even though they're going to win the next 3 matches back to back, you're just not. It's just not happening. Imagine, you get 3 20-point games back to back, and you still don't even qualify for last chance.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, you'd be on
exactly.
81. Yeah, so it's rough. It's definitely rough. And I think Team Secret is the only team that is completely counted out here. But even for Tiamba, if they go down here, then they're also counted out.
Pretty much. That would be nasty news for Tianba. Alter Ego really want these points, though. You can see where they are on the tables right now. 5th place. They were up in 3rd. They've been up in 2nd as well. They've been dancing around that top bubble. But for now, they're in 5th with a team 1 point ahead of them, a team 1 point behind them, and plenty more behind that who would be all too willing to usurp the spot and take some of that prize money and the all-important ticket to the finals. Goats moving in on the southwest side with APG behind them. The circle goes back out towards that western side.
For Erangel here, this is our last Erangel of Group Green. It is also the last chance to get stable points and more so stabilize your position in the leaderboard. I think if you head over towards Miramar, as we've seen multiple times, some of those circles are so hectic. And the big thing about Miramar is not the fact that it can't be played well, but you get towards those end games where the circle can really only support 5 teams at most, and that's around about stage 6, stage 7. So there's less chance of you. Unlike Erangel, where you get to stage 6, stage 7, you can have like 8 or 9 teams in those circles, which gives a lot more chance for our squads to have a strong finish there. But you might just be cut out by luck, essentially, in Miramar, whether you can make it or not. You need to make sure now on this last Erangel that you secure that position and make it a little bit easier for yourself, basically giving yourself a buffer going in towards Miramar. That's most important for GOAT right now because they already have a small lead. They could extend that out further. Their life becomes so much easier on Miramar because they can just play it slow.
Yeah, it's potential to be a little bit more relaxed there. You'd love to see it. You do not want that pressure of knowing, oh, we need to get like a 17 elim game here to do something on these tables, etc. It's really nerve-wracking, and you do not want that on your conscience. Teams are starting to line up very, very linear down the center of this circle blank. That Yaz field presence being really felt on that west side. Everyone wants access to the mansion fields if it goes northeast. It does start to splay out down towards farm, down towards Milter, with that lumber yard on the southeast side as well. But on the north side, it's very much along the road south of Yasnaya.
In secret, do find loops. That's a big deal, especially for the 11th place position. Rafina, lucky to get away with his life there. I'm surprised he didn't find that final shot, but they will look to see if they can finish off some more. You have to hit that, finally.
Oh, 2 of his teammates sending over his head. Lovely bit of stunt driving there coming through from Team Secret. Even if they can't make the points work, they'll try and look pretty doing it. And they do manage to get, you know, a decent chunk out of loops and very likely to pick up another point at least. So well done them. Congratulations.
Well, the
better
big thing is that getting 2 players out from 11th place, the 11th place team, is actually a massive deal here for Reject as well as OG. Stops Loops from progressing too much and gives yet again another chance for both those teams to put up some strong points here. And with OG being able to play up towards the north side, play in heaven, you know, this is a really strong chance for them to get a good game on here.
Absolutely. They need to regroup properly, though. If they don't find it in time, teams will start to crunch in. Goat moving in from the southwest side with the Falcons out to their west. Wolves on the northwest of this still D+ ahead of them. Goat do have a challenge here. They don't really have too many options, and Gen G already finding their way in the building that Killer Joe was trying to scout out. Papara Supermassive. I mean, you can't stop off there, really. It's too close to the edge of the circle. Want to get a little bit further. The 2 from Loops, GS, everybody's sending now.
You've got to do. I mean, this is an awkward area of the map to be playing in. Still have Mansion in play. No one really wants to go for that just yet. They're waiting for the circle to make a true decision on where it's finishing. D+ just sends center. They're quite happy with that one to play in that position. Again, Alpha Gaming down towards that southeast side, playing it more towards the edge here. They will have to sweep through teams, but it's a team that has the capability to do that massively.
No one getting fully stuck into a fight just yet. But I mean, it is APG really on this eastern side. That's sweep through, maybe. Papra Supermassive there as well. Probably the first team to face Alter Ego potentially around this prison mound. Tianba, hey, they still got 4 players alive. You know, they're fine. They're doing okay. They can still do it, I believe. Well, don't even know if I believe myself on that one.
You Captain
not
optimistic today, honestly.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Loops trying to move on through and actually finding an opener to Papra Supermassive.
Yeah, 1 point. That's 2 players is good. Definitely good. But Papra Supermassive losing a player there to a 2-man team is pretty rough. Playing alongside this ditch. Sits around the dead trees. It's a okay position. Put it that way. Will require smokes though. To keep teams off your back. Also easily crashable. Your outpost as well is also gone due to loops, which does make this a bit more awkward. Waiting for stage 4 now to pop. Wolves on the northwest. 102 points after that game. True heroes performance from Doran to sit them there.
I mean, I'm surprised that the teams have managed to compact themselves into this area. I mean, the blue zone isn't quite fully upon APG, and maybe that's going to be the go time. But APG can't find the shots, and it's actually Tianba to draw first on that engagement. And Nate over the top is huge, gets the flush, and another knock to APG. The circle sends all the way down to the southwest, so OG are going to have to move. Can't play that Evan combat anymore. This is big news for IC, and for GOAT, and for Falcons, and maybe even for Reject.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, Reject being able to move him from that south side's massive. Also, big chance here now for D+ to get ahead, right? Get first place. First place over in PMGC 2024. Now looking to top the tables here in Group Green. Will be a great marker for what's to come from this South Korean squad. But yeah, you're right. For Gen G, Inner Circle, Reject, this is all very promising on this next circle.
I mean, it's kind of nastiest, I think, for maybe GS in this scenario. Who are closest to chasing down. Well, I mean, they're trying to get away from this hilltop, but Alter Ego actually sent up towards this fight. Right there, and they're losing all of their players now. Over towards just Alva now remaining. That's not friendly. That's not fun.
Yeah, I meant more as in, like, why is Tianba suddenly insane at the game? Like, not why are they bad, because this is crazy. They've just taken down a lot of the tough parts of the lobby here pretty succinctly, leaving Alter Ego, who were challenging for a 3rd place position, now with just 1. And Alva, I don't think he survives here, and he does not.
No. They're done and dusted. 5th place at the end of this match with 2 Miramars left to play. I mean, they're just going to hope that GOAT and IC go down as well, aren't they? And the Wolves. I mean, and actually half the lobby. It would be great for Alter Ego if you could all just, you know, stop playing right now. They'd love that.
I mean, I think there has been a little bit of lackluster performance from Alter Ego today, but fair enough as well, where you look at those circles, it's been really rough. Finally get to play a decent one, and it's very open. It's a hard rotate for them too. They get caught off towards prison with 2 teams playing around that location. 2 teams, which I might add, have basically nothing to lose here as well, with Team Secret and Tianba playing extremely aggressive.
There's a real firecracker about to pop off, I'm sure, there. But GS are crashing. 2 teams chasing for that 11th place bubble. GS moving down towards Sarah, but he has got that outpost to reposition away back towards the rest of his team. Will they be able to do so safely, securely? Regi, though, not so lucky. Spotted on the off angle and immediately flushed away as well. And that's a point added to the tally for GS, with loops going low, down to 1 player. They definitely want to make this game a big one. See how far they can go.
That's an all boot striking from the northern side. But Tiamba's not done yet. the nades, pins pulled, and Team Secret looking to hit the deck here as the explosions come through very quickly. Good damage will find one. Xerus should go down to the splash damage there, and does. Tiamba decided that they can play PUBG Mobile finally.
Yeah, they've been allowed to open their eyes, it seems, on this one. A nice pick up there. Wolves trying to make the dash now across the open ground. OG trying to stop them. And they have got a beautiful line up there for AKOP. Doesn't quite connect for another knock, but slows the Wolves down a lot more. They've got 20 seconds to get back up and into fighting form. With the tanky getting rezzed as well, OG are on 4. They have to move 2. The question is, where do they go right now, Blank? It's open area to the north of Shelter, to the north and the west of Mansion.
Wolves who need to make their way out, but like you say, they are surrounded on both sides here. Falcons looking for a little bit of redemption from that last match too, as Alpha Gaming takes this opportunity just to swing through. They see the smokes down over towards 9. See, and swing straight back around again. Worth their time trying to pick that one up. I think for Wolves, this is an extremely difficult run out. They are pincered at the moment.
Certainly are. Tiamba taking down Papa Supermassive as well. They take a knock. Oh, that's all the way out the back, actually. So Bond might actually be a full casualty. Wolves crashing across the road. The Falcons were trying to make their life hard, and that is going to continue to be the case as Wolves are getting torn apart, crashing into OG. It's not friendly. I think it's just Bat now remaining. Meanwhile, in the picture-in-picture, the south side is getting real hot between Reject and GS. Those two teams looking to chase for that 11th place bubble. I don't quite know who's in the lead right now, Blank, but I feel like GS might have this one. Reject taking heavy casualties.
Apollo nades his teammate, and that is it, done and dusted. 65 points now for Reject, and not much more, but GS do profit off the back of that. 4 elims on that game. Wolves down as well. Egos will go out. It's just Baton left remaining. Good nades coming through from 9Z over towards OG as they try to cross the road.
It's a difficult crossing, certainly. I'm just looking. I just had a little chuckle. I looked at Tiamba. They've got 11 eliminations, Blank. Yeah, we're in minute 20, right? Like this. It's very confusing. I don't think they're going to be able to get too much further here out in the open, but they do have a position in this next circle. We'll see if they can maintain it for a little bit longer. OG also heavily suffering. This 9ZG layering the nades on in, but one nade sent back their way could be beautiful. Falcons having a tough time in the meantime as well. On the other side of it, the other flank against OG, and they find Narvalo.
I mean, Narvalo's been down for a little while now. OG do take quite a bit of damage there from the Falcons. It was instantly healed back up again. Redox does get knocked though. Ralph will have to send out, try and pick him up. Good shot there coming through from OG. Will take down Koa, and now with just Ralph remaining. This is where you want to see OG push. That's exactly what they do. Well done.
But the next move, again, they are trapped on this north side. Goat have to move as well. Do they want to try and stymie OG, or do they want to try and get closer? Remember, they're defending their 3rd place right now against IC, who have position in the circle. Okay. A nice little pick out there as 9Z try and roll on up, but Tanky has other ideas. He's going to stop them dead in their tracks, look for more spray downs. Finally, a turn on the corner is there, but the rest of OG now need to pick up the slack. AKOP can't do it, but the teammates are still rallying, and a Tanky stays alive. One player now for OG to pick them back up. For 14 seconds before the zone moves, they might just be able to roll out as 3.
Really good stuff. Again, Tanky is definitely my favorite player on that squad. He is very slick with it. Some insane maneuvers from his side of things. I think he's been a thorn in the side for a fair few teams as well that maybe underestimated him. D+ though, they send across. There is shots from Gen G. I think D+ trying to finish off that fight between them and OG, but seeing their teammates getting blasted out by Gen G in the background, sees them run back towards the rest of the team. Tiamba still taking shots, but it's Gen G to do most of the work there over towards GS. For Gen G, this is a big deal for them. If they get a chicken dinner on this game, that does shoot them back up into the hundreds alongside a lot of other squads.
Oh my goodness me. It is really their time to join that fight, it seems, but GOAT are still alive, Blank. On the western side, they do have to get on in, and Inner Circle maybe a little bit more happy because they are in the circle on this next rotate. D+ with one player left standing. Trying to rack up as many places as they can, but Chips out the open will be taken down, and the point goes to OG, who are now very close to GS, and they're behind Loops on 77. OG with the crash, actually, over towards Gen G's position, and one of them's knocked on the wall.
I mean, for OG, this looks a lot more aggressive. It looks good. I mean, they are trying things today, and I like it. I really do like it. A Tanky now on the side wall. WizGod has to move up in the vehicle. There is a nade sent out. It's a little bit too far, but a nice Molotov will cause Dammy to be sat down on the side. Nade goes a little far again from Gen G, but GS assaulting from the sidelines too.
I'm looking at GOAT crashing into IC. That's the battle for third place popping off right now in the picture-in-picture. It's really, really dangerous stuff as Gen G look at a climb, but a nade from WizGod is able to land on target. GOAT are looking to keep this crash going. IC hopping out, but can't quite find on the spray down. And there's a chime in from Tianba, who is still alive, by the way. Oh my goodness me, there's three very important fights happening right now, Blank, all at once. As on the south side, it's GOAT who take down IC. 6 elims now, placements into 5th place. And there's still that Lone Ranger running across the open ground. And no, hang on a minute. He has got his teammates still going with AK behind.
Again, those towards the wall. The elims on the match, by the way. Gen G, OG at 10. You can see these are really pushing as far as they possibly can to try and get the last chance here. They're so close to the tables for third place. So close to the tables. Down towards the quick. Tianba steps up, but can't find the shots onto a Tanky.
Oh, he's dodging down there. GOAT may be onto a winner though, Blank, with Gen G starting to wane. This could be the time that they solidify that third place, move it out of reach for almost everyone. The Inter could have been the bastion. OG lock in some placement points. You saw them just flick up in the 12th place, but they are still short of 11th. The game is over in 5th place. 2 more maps to play. An 8-point difference between them and Loops, who sit still on the bubble.
Oh, come on. That was... You shooting above him, dude. It's not that big of a drop-off. Finally gets the job done. Yeah, for GOAT, you're absolutely right in terms of maybe they can finish here. The big thing is this. 14 elims from Tianba is extremely silly.
Oh, dear.
And does see them with a chance.
I mean, it kind of does, right? On a 85-point bubble, Tianba on 64 when you've added in these 14 elims. I mean, that's doable. They've already guaranteed a 4th place on the placements. They're definitely going to be less than 20 points. Fewer than 20 behind that bubble going into our Miramar stage. The question is, how much further can they go? Because they're out in the blue zone, and they do need to push further forwards.
Yeah, the big thing now for GOAT is if this circle goes down towards the southwest, then I think we might have just secured our top 3. It would be a big outside chance on both our Miramars for any other teams underneath them. But if it heads up towards the northeast side, then it might still all be to play for.
We go covering that run out. Satan has the inside of the building kind of on lock, so Tianba not actually going to go for the push. They know they don't need to commit to going for it. It would be a placement and an elim if they can go in and find that last player for Gen G, but they can wait for him to leave instead.
It does all come down to this shift here. And it's away from them. So now GOAT's life becomes a little bit more difficult. Tianba's going to walk forward a little bit. Get a slight resupply there.
Oh, felt dangerous there. I thought Cracker was going to peek out, take the shots, but I think the wall just covering it off. Very, very tense.
It's such open ground that GOAT have to cross. But which of these players are going to take shots towards them? I think if it was a 3-man squad playing here in Mansion, GOAT absolutely is in a tough time of it. But because it's 3 separate teams, on the outside towards the east. I think GOAT might just be able to get by because of the lack of coordination from all three of these teams on the other side, who don't really want to be the first to peak.
I mean, the fact that they've got 3 players, though, as well, that's going to be really worrisome. They are the main team that has to move, but GS have to let their last player out. And remember, GS also chasing for that bubble. Currently on 78 points, and then you add on the placements. Blank, they're very close to already being into 11th against Loot. Another Elim, another team going down would be brilliant news for them. The smoke train's there. GOAT might try and leverage that to actually stretch out themselves.
Come on, Tiamba. Now's your time to peak. Satan's just been so quiet on the inside. And he actually might let Go get up to the wall, in which case it may not have mattered the circle pushing away from either of these squads. But look how open this ground is. ESO not taking any shots either just yet. He basically smokes for GOAT too.
Now the zone will close dead center. It's going to start now, and teams have to move. The smoke's lining up. Tianba have started to push out, but stepping back into the blue zone. ESO finds a play from GOAT. That's huge. Finding that off angle, finding a knock against GOAT. That brings it into a 2v2v1 now. The res needs to come through. Tianba, stop this res from happening at all costs. They need to find it. The smoke there covers off the other angle. Aching. Milo, where are you? You need these sprays. You need them now, or GOAT are going to be back up as 3, up into the wall, and Satan is still there. He's crossing the open ground, and Kraken, he's able to find it. Satan goes low. He's been spotted. Aching with the angle on towards him. Looking to keep that spray going. And Tiamba looking to ladder up. They will get second, but they only have the 1 player to stand, and the nades from GOAT over the top seal the deal, and they might have just guaranteed GOAT's spot in the grand finals. What a close down on the game. Tiamba making waves, but it is the top 3 looking all the more certain.
Yeah, it's such a messy finish there coming through from those 3 teams. Saiyan does nothing, Tiamba does nothing. That's coming across from the side, because honestly that's an international mindset, where as those 3 teams there, you deal with the biggest target first in the lobby, and then you as the solos can fight against one another.
Crank that volume, turn it way up, way up. Put your hands, put your city, put your fans, put your state up.
And when the going gets tough and everything is on the line, GOAT pull out a chicken dinner. This could be the one that seals the deal for them and gives them that trip on over to the grand finals, Max. What a game from GOAT.
I mean, it's not just a great game. This is a team, Hodrix, that dropped in Primorsk, almost a complete opposite side of the map. And they go for a quick pivot. And what stood out to me is not just that early game rotation. Their terrain knowledge was second to none this match on Erangel. They knew what position on the western side of Museum they could use in their favor and just make teams avoid them like the plague. And all the teams could see Orangutan, APG, all those western teams just did not want to get in a 200-meter radius of GOAT because that position was so damn strong. And you can see by some of the damage here from the players, Kraken, Twix, Vic, Niptura, taking almost no damage this game because their fights were so one-sided.
Yeah, a really nice show, and you're right. They went onto that western side, they got a great position, and they were just able to clear teams just great position, and they were just able to clear teams just very methodical. I think that's really the name of the game so far in the group green stage, right, is just this methodical attitude towards the rest of the lobby. They're not going full sends. They're just taking it slow, one at a time with those timings as well. Really, another really good game from Go, and that is why they're in the top 3 currently.
Oh, I mean, such a clutch performance for them. And not to mention, right, that was from the top of the leaderboards, our 3rd place team. But man, this game really just showed the desperation and tenacity of our bottom squads, man. You saw Tianba go crazy with a bunch of eliminations. Whoa. OG get a bunch of eliminations. GS as well. You can see they're trying to do everything they can. It's just so difficult with this point lead from Loops, right? They're hanging on by a thread here.
They're just crawling through these games, just hoping, just one point, sir, please. That is all we want, just 1 extra point. And you know what? A point might just be the difference maker at the end of the day between 11th and 12th position. Who continues in the last chance and who is sent home after these next 2 matches? 2 Miramars is here to seal their fate as we still have some of these replays. But man, Museum all over the place. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
D plus Kia going full send onto Genji. In my opinion, the crash was very poorly executed. Keeping chips as an off angle on a flat train like this for me is the wrong decision, Niptura. And then Orangutan, more opportunistic, right? Looking to go for a 3rd party. I appreciated that play.
I did, but again, it was just a little bit too late, right? They tried to do something there on the opposite side, trying to just pincer Genji there, but it just wasn't gonna work. The timing was way off there, but we see these rotations, Max. You're right? GOAT over in Primorsk, a complete opposite side of the map there from everybody else.
That was a... They had to get a lot of fuel to make that rotation. They had to loot a lot of those to make sure those cars were still in working condition. Here, playing really adamant to play these high ground positions in this spot on the map, and then they go for the side next to OP Dip. And this is the terrain knowledge I was talking about. That position they had. It's so hard for teams to breach you entering from the western side. So they just held it down, protected themselves with the cars. And you can see Orangutan. They did not want to have to deal with the side of Go. So they're like, oh, well, Museum, there's a fight with D+. We'll go for that instead because Go, that position is way too strong. And Go, knowing the Orangutan left, they fight IC instead in that compound. And then, boom, full control of the southern western side. Easy peasy wrap up for that chicken dinner on Goat's side.
20 points on the board. I mean, that is what they needed. Tianba put up 20 as well. I mean, you can tell they're just trying to pull out all the stops here, Niptura.
They really are. Some really good show from Tianba, but it's just a little too late, Jukes. A little too late. Just 2 games left for them to put up. I mean, we're talking about them having to put up an equal number of points in both the upcoming Miramars for them to really have a shot at the top 11, right, at going to last chance. And so that's just going to be so difficult, but hey, better late than never, I suppose. I really like what we saw from them. That's the Tianba we're used to seeing. Hopefully we can see that again in the next game.
I agree. I personally, with how chaotic I know these last 2 matches are going to be, especially the last match for sure, I think it's done and dusted for Tianba. But that just goes to say, right, if they somehow make it happen, it will be the comeback of the entire year, Max.
I mean, Reject, why 0 points? Alter Ego, why 0 points? Oh, we were having some good momentum yesterday for Alter Ego, today for Reject. No follow through on this game. It was definitely not an easy match for these teams. I do have to say, if you had to be center very early, like your Genji, like your D+. But regardless, that momentum did not follow through. Hopefully that could be the case going into those Miramar matches. Though congrats to Killer Joe from GOAT Team being your game MVP. 4 eliminations, very important on his fight actually during that push onto the Pakistani team that shall not be named. Actually is currently in 4th position and they are currently in the cutoff. Here they would not make it to the grand finals, just barely. We need to see a comeback from those guys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay,
absolutely do.
Neptura, I'm gonna ask you this real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Right?
No.
That from GOAT to IC, that's a 25-point difference. All right. We got 2 matches left to go. We know how crazy the last match is going to be, right? In my opinion, these teams, I'm looking at you, IC, all the way down to Wolves. You have to do something different. A regular game of PUBG Mobile isn't going to get you in the grand finals, right? What would you suggest? I want to hear from both of you guys, right? What would you suggest for a team like IC, right, to have to do in order to make it into those grand finals and possibly take out GOAT?
Oh, that's a really tough answer. I don't know necessarily that they should do anything different. I think the way IC have been playing has been pretty consistent so far today. Alter Ego, I think, do need to step up and try and get more placement, more of that end game positioning, end game presence. For IC, I would say just up the ante a little bit here. Not be more careful, but just be a little bit more persistent with their plays.
Max, you agree with that?
I would agree. I'm just looking at the hot drops locations right now. So GOAT have a hot drop in common in El Porto with Falcons. Now that could be a very impactful one. If GOAT go out early, that could open up the floodgates for some of these teams to do a final last-ditch effort to get in the top 3. If you're GOAT though, Hodrix, now we're going on the opposite side. No, they know they might be targeted. They can't afford to go out early. I would say you change your drop location. You go Ruins, you go Tierra Blanca, you go Campo Militar, you go Prison. For all I care, you don't take the hot drop. Otherwise, you are throwing massively. If I see it happen, GOAT, for me, I don't want to see you in the finals. Sorry, that would be the throw of a lifetime.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think that GOAT should definitely mix things up here because personally, I mean, we've seen too much esports at this point, right? I think if you're IC and AE, if you do the same thing and just try to end it up, I don't think you're making it. Like, without a doubt, there's no chance. 25 points is too big to cross. You've done this all year long, right? Why not try to get to the finals here and now? Don't even worry about last stage, right? So, last chance. Yes. So, if you're IC, I'm not going to say hot drop, right? I don't think you're going to hot drop, right? But no, do something to possibly camp out a rotation. You got to figure out a way to take this team out early because if they put up 5 points, I think it's over, right?
Yeah.
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 So they need agree. 0. They need 0, right? So, I mean, honestly, if I see IC or any of these teams going down, and this is how I feel about it, right? I don't even want to see you in the grand finals. I don't. Like, I hate it. It's the worst thing ever. You gotta do something different, right? I mean, if this was PMSL, you don't want to, like, you know, upset other teams, fine. But this is where the big money is on the line. Come on.
Okay, chat. We're sorry. He's very passionate right now. Okay, he's a bit angsty. Okay, just he'll relax after this game. Don't worry.
Yes, it'll be fine. Yeah. It's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine for GOAT if they put up 5 points. I'll tell you that right now.
Calm down, Let us talk, okay? So it's too much. We need to hold him back. Oh my goodness. But you know what, Niptura? I think that, like, genuinely to have a bit of a conversation on what Hodrix is talking about. Do you want to go for the hot drop and take that risk? I would not recommend it.
No.
I just don't want to see a full squad out of those teams that are competing for top 3 get towards the late stage, circle 5, 6, and just play hyper passive. Placement points aren't going to cut it. You need to frag out, and late game, we need to see some strong presence here on these Miramar matches.
We do, and I think it's for those 3 teams in particular, right? GOAT, Inner Circle, and Alter Ego. Those 3 teams in particular have a very similar playstyle when it comes to the late game. They play mid to edge. So you're going to see all 3 of those teams actually on the edge of the circle trying to farm out other teams and spread and split in the end game. If one of those teams can catch GOAT early before they do that, or in that push to go split on the edge, they actually find GOAT, see them in the elim feed, and head to their direction. That could be a huge rotational sort of backstab that doesn't include the risk of a hot drop to me. So I would love to see both of those teams do that.
Definitely. If we have one of these teams that are chasing the top 3 and you see in the elimination feed when you flush out a player, that is GOAT. I want you to, and you have all your players in a healthy condition, I want to see you just rush them right away.
Yes.
If we don't see that, for me, you don't have what it takes, Hot Jukes, to be a grand finalist team.
I agree. That's what I'm talking about, right? I'm not saying the hot drop, but if you even get the slightest scent, right, that GOAT is near you, you need to be headed in that direction without a shadow of a doubt, because a chicken dinner, 10 eliminations ain't gonna do it if GOAT puts up 5 points here. Now, that's the top, right? Now, to survive to the last chance, I think GS needs to do the same thing with loops, right? I mean, reject, it's such a big point difference. It's gonna, I think too many things need to happen, right? And the same goes for, you know, like Tianba. But I mean, I want to see something different from the teams at the bottom as well. And since you have so many squads having to do that, these last 2 matches are going to be insane, Neptura.
Yeah, they are. I mean, if Rejects had Tiamba's game in that last Erangel, we would see probably a very different storyline coming through if Rejects able to get into the top 11. But the way it's looking, I think both Tiamba and RC are just not looking where they need to be for that next 2-game push, rather. So GS and OG, I'm looking at OG still. They've kept themselves in the running today. I think both those teams need to be targeting Loops, targeting 9Z as well. And those two teams, 9Z and Loops, they got to be careful, man.
I agree. I mean, so just to reaffirm, okay, Loops, yeah, they're 3 points away from GS, so that's mighty close. All right. OG are good, about 8 away. Tianba are 15 away, right? So Tianba, you know, Rejects, those guys definitely got to do something crazy here. But I mean, it's going to be a crazy last 2 matches for sure. And honestly, my eyes are going to be on GOAT to see how they perform in this game. I think if they put up, like I mentioned, 5 points, they're going to be solid. Loops, however, we need another 10-point game. I think Loops, if they put up a 10-point game here going into the last match, they should feel good. They should feel pretty good. Does that seem about right to you guys?
I would agree. I would agree on that one. I'm looking at the point difference right now. You could even say middle of the rankings, Papara, Supermassive Blaze, Falcons, technically top 3 is not impossible. I know it's very unlikely, and no Hodrix is going to say it normally never changes at the end of the day. It always stays the same. Yeah, which is true. But that one time it does happen. Oh my goodness, that would be a hell of a story. So yeah, Falcons, Papara, Supermassive Blaze, Wolves, Genji. I know there's a lot of pressure, a lot on the line here. You know what? Even if they do not make it here, Niptro, they're still going to last chance. But then you got to be top 2. You got to qualify now, otherwise it's going to be so much harder for you to actually make it to Bangkok for these grand finals.
It just is so difficult from here on out. And if you thought, you know, group stage was hard, last chance is going to be even worse, because now you've got all those teams in last chance just desperate. You think these teams are playing hard now? Wait till we get to last chance, because that is the end of the line for the majority of the teams. There are so few slots left once we get over there that those teams just going to be having a really hard time to do anything, I think. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. So I wouldn't want to be in those shoes, in that place, in that position. So really those last 2 games, these last 2 games coming up, it's do or die, because, man, I don't want to be in last chance if I were them.
That's a fact, right? For those guys that don't know, we got Group Red coming to happen the day after tomorrow, right? And we're going to have some monster squads joining the fray of last chance. That's for sure, right? So, I mean, that's the last position you want to put yourself in. So, looking at those leaderboards again, mathematically, for a possibility, just a sly, you know, wide shot, it's 9th place. Okay, 9th place could have a shot into top 3. And the way that happens, again, GOAT cannot put up a single point. And they would need at least probably a 15 elimination chicken dinner, right? That's a lot of things to happen. And the problem with this, again, and this is why I was saying this, Max, right? And Niptura,
yeah,
is that last game, you know, you have so many teams that need so many points. They're going to be going crazy, pushing everything. So, man, you got to be able to do it in this game, at least in my opinion, Neptro.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that you really just need to get your head on straight for these Miramars, Jukes, because this is the last chance.
Well, you know what? I want to hear from Jafar from GS. Let's see what 7 has to say from this guy in their last match of the day, possibly.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by none other than GS Jafar. Yesterday,
So more likely we're aiming just to make it to top 11. We're doing really well in the previous maps, and we think we can continue that momentum.
Well, hey, I like that mentality. At first, you guys were aiming for top 3. Top 3 teams are playing lights out. That turned out to be unlikely. Top 11, it's almost right there. I'm hoping you guys can make it. Thank you so much, brother. Back to y'all.
Yeah, top 3 is a little too far away for GS, but last chance is still right there. Okay, well, we're going into Miramar, Max, right?
Yes.
I like what you said. I think GOAT should change up their drop location. I know you're very familiar with the drops here in Miramar, okay? If that's the case, where would you want to see GOAT drop? How about that?
I think I gave a few options earlier. You got Ruins, Campo Militar, Tierra Bronca. Prison was a bit of a meme pick, to be honest. I don't mean that one seriously.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of northern positions. Even the trash loot around water treatment wouldn't be a bad option. I think northern side here, Niptura, would be the best option because a lot of the lobby is or central or more focused around Chumacera, Los Leones. Those positions are heavily just cluttered with teams at this point. So yeah, northern side, I would say not a bad shout for Go Team.
Yeah, I'd also avoid anything near the teams that are coming for you, right? Alter Ego in particular do an El Hazahar truck stop split, as we've seen in the past. So for that, you're talking about the northern side, I completely agree. Just stay away from the northeastern side. Maybe some ruins, maybe something over there would be a lot better.
Didn't we have... sorry, my memory is... it's coming back to me. Didn't we have a hot drop, Gen G versus Goat Team in Hacienda de Patron Day 1?
That's right. That's right, we
did. That was their first
No
win,
way we
right?
see that again, right? No way.
Bro.
There's no way
Maybe.
GOAT risks it.
Maybe?
I mean... But the thing is that if GOAT...
kind of cool.
And that's the thing, is that if GOAT does it and they win it, I mean, that could be it. Here and now.
It's done.
You know?
Yeah. You know what? I actually wouldn't hate it. They've got enough of a gap, Jukes. They could risk it in this game and then come back in Miramar. I think they might just have enough of a gap to maybe make that play.
I said that for the memes. I can't believe you guys are like, actually, yes. I was just like, it happened once. Don't do it, please. Go, if you're listening, don't do it. It was a bad idea.
But they might.
A party in Hacienda. That is what I want to see for sure. Well, guys, you know the leaderboards. You know which teams need to perform. We're headed to the desert here. Last 2 matches of the day. Are we going to see that hot drop? Blanket John, I know you want to. That's for sure.
If there's one thing I love, it's a hot drop on Miramar. It's brilliant. I have no complaints about them, ever. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened when 2 teams sit in Picardo for 15 minutes. Wow.
I hate it, personally. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But you are right. There's definitely chance for some hot drops. But to be honest, at this point in time, it's starting to feel like Group Green is winding to a close already with Go getting the amount of points they did, the amount of teams chasing. I think it's difficult to catch them up. There's basically this outside chance of a team needing 2 really strong games back to back to overtake Go, and they also need to be in striking range, which fortunately a lot of teams are towards that 100-point range. Down towards the bottom of the tables is probably the more interesting aspect of it all. I think we can refocus in on the top 3 after next game if a team starts to chase.
Yeah, I think that's a totally reasonable outlook to take going into the final 2 matches into the Miramar set. The last potentially of the year for some of these teams. For 5 of our teams, they won't be playing a tournament again until the new year. The circle, okay. It's not dramatic here. And to be fair, we've had our fair share of dramatic circles. We had 2 military islands back to back. So fair enough. We got a little bit more sane on this one.
Yeah, down towards the south side. It's a very easy playing path into a very easy circle. Papra Supermassive are dropping here. I think Inner Circle, like we say, are the closest, but even then, what is that? 25 points behind. Require Go to go down early twice. They are on that north side towards Hacienda. There's no hot drops happening there. The closest really is this between Papra Supermassive and Alter Ego, but even then, they're looking to send out. and get away. I think every team's trying to maximize their chances to get in. Now, Loops is that marker, and they have been that marker for a very long time now in 11th place. GS chasing just 3 measly points behind. It's also wild to me that all the way down in 9th place, 98 points, is still chasing towards that top spot. Sorry? Ooh. Why did Doc do that?
That's...
Why did Dammy...
What's go? Hello? I feel like there's something going on.
Oh, it's a rehost.
This can't be right.
Absolutely a rehost, yeah.
It's got to be a rehost. There's no way that this is just happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, interesting.
That's, okay. Wow. That was a little nerve-wracking for a second. Yeah, they'll start to name themselves out. Very clear that is what is going on. As soon as the second team started to do it, I thought, okay, yeah, definitely. We'll hopefully be told what is going on as soon as possible.
Yeah, it seems like Reject's got some issues.
Yeah.
We'll be getting back into the game pretty soon-ish. But it being Doc, I was like, I didn't put it past Doc to do something odd, right? Luckily for us, get straight back into things. We can see here, I mean, teams are worried, right? I mean, Tiama's definitely worried of where they're going to end up. It's a stressful one getting into that game. You know, you've all had all this pent-up tension to now suddenly in this position where you got to get a restart. A lot of that adrenaline is out the window.
Yeah, it's I mean, we'll see if the circle's as friendly as it was this time around, right? Like, that's what we were looking at. We're thinking about, okay, the circle's kind of chill. It seems to be okay. Everything's fine. Sure. This is when the circle goes out to the East Islands, right? It's after a game like this, or a Partona, right? We'll see if we'll get some crazy shenanigans unfolding very soon. Reject looking to fix their issue. I believe we are going to be going back over to the analyst desk fairly shortly to give a little bit more breakdown on the proceedings before we get stuck into Miramar. It's not just yet. So the hot drop's not going to happen just yet, Hot Jukes. I know you really wanted it. I know that was your favorite thing. You absolutely love it, but we've denied it on this time around. But guys, do you think it'll be the same this time around?
Let's see and find out. You know, apologize, of course, for the technical delays, you know, but we got it going on right now, you know. So the good thing that we have when it comes to this little reset, you know, is that we got a glimpse of where teams are landing. You know what I'm saying? So we got a nice little psych that happened. We know that GOAT were in Hacienda del Patron right there, right? So super interesting that we got to see, but man, right, a little bit more extra tension before these last 2 games. You love to see it here, Max.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit shocked what was happening, and so I was like, the elimination feed, no. So I was like, I was like, okay, no, the Doc prank is done, you know, no Trey RPG prank. But yeah, a little rehost here, all fine, going to give these teams a little bit ample time to prepare for this match on Miramar. But yeah, from what I was seeing right at the start of that game, Hot Jukes, we didn't see any big hot drops who were like actually going to have a massive impact on the storyline. So for me, we're going to see a very similar thing here going on to the actual first Miramar. No prank, no.
That's right. Yeah, you know, man, and I'll tell you what, you know, when this happens, it definitely just gets teams, I think, possibly even rethinking things a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you guys. I'm super superstitious. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I'm there in Thailand, and I'm like, no, let's just play a regular game. And then, you know, we get a little rehost happening. I'm like, it's a sign. We got to hunt him down, guys. Like, we got to do it right now. What do you think? Is it just me when it comes to that kind of stuff? What do you think, Max?
Yeah, no, maybe okay. It's just you. I mean, John was saying also that's the game we usually get an island finish on the east side. I don't know. You guys have some interesting theories that I don't think are going to come into play, but you know, who knows? You know, that one time it does happen, it'll be fun for sure.
Where's my tinfoil hat, right? I need it right here now. Yeah. Let's go. Neptura, right? 2 more matches left to go. We're pretty much very aware of the storylines that are coming on, right? Yeah. We got the teams at the top hunting down that top 3, teams at the bottom, right? One What do you think could surprise you here in this last game? You know what I'm saying? Or in these last 2 matches that we got in Miramar. First one of the day, we didn't see a hot drop on the rehost. All right.
Yep.
Do you think we're gonna actually see teams hunt people down, or is it gonna be just another regular match?
I don't know. I really want to see teams actually go for it, but I think they're not going to. I think it's gonna be Miramar, just super chill. We're just gonna have a normal Miramar match here, Jukes.
I got a good feeling that could be true as well, but I don't want to see it. We know that GOAT are going to Hacienda. That's a fact, right? So they're not changing up their drop location. They're not doing that water treatment split max. So I mean, teams are gonna know where they're going.
For sure. I mean, there's going to have some information out there. I was looking at Ultra Ego. They were dropping pretty close to one team. They can't afford a bad game here, Hot Juke. So Ultra Ego, if anything, maybe you can somewhat fix that. To make sure you don't have an early clash against anyone, because that would really just spell absolute demise for their top 3, their fight for top 3 right now.
Well, that top of the leaderboard is going to be really tough to crack, but that bottom of the leaderboards is mighty close. Let's see if one of those teams at the bottom can possibly pass up Loops here, John and Blank.
And that is what we are going to be paying attention to, right? On the just before there, Blank, you were talking about how it is going to be much more interesting to focus on that bottom side of the tables for this game upcoming, rather than go a little bit towards the top sides, right? Because it is a question of, can a team have a massive game here, and then we'll look at them. So that bottom set, much more prescient, much more present in the mind.
Feels like we're getting a bit of deja vu now, getting back into Miramar once again. There are definitely a fair few squads that need to step things up. I can't believe Tiamba was able to get such a high placing finish in that last match. With the amount of points they're able to accrue as well, it was a silly amount. I think they were able to get 20 points in the end to close out that game. Still more to be gathered here, but we'll take a look in with the leaderboard when it does pop up on the screen shortly. It's so crazy that everyone has been... It's very, very competitive Group Green, honestly. It's a scary lobby. Whoever chose these groups is really quite mean.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, Group Red will be interesting. Hey, Blank, I think we're going to Bartona this game. Pretty sure. 100% going to go all the way down south. Let's kick it off.
I wouldn't mind it. It's a hard circle, though. You know, Minas Valle, Chumacera in general is pretty difficult. Alter Ego, this time up against Papra Supermassive in close range. One player very low, looks to head upstairs. Still darting around, has a gun now to work with. Ooh. But just a couple of shots from Rosemary, and he's whiffing here.
Rosemary's figured out exactly what he's got. Nico, I mean, it looked like he had a bandage there, maybe a stim. He was able to pop. Rosemary certainly has some healing on, but a full med kit here is huge for Rosemary. To be able to get all the way back up to full HP, this is a massive advantage now. Drops down for the Julies and will start for the spray on the hop out. Oh, he's not quite tagging on 12 rounds, but he's only going to need a couple of them. 3 remaining in the chamber, and Rosemary picks up a crucial point here against Papra Supermassive. I mean, I said we weren't going to focus on the top 3, but Alter Ego, they want it. They want it desperately.
I mean, to be honest, Alter Ego having issues that last game, which is why we did have that reset, where they're able to effectively get away from Papra Supermassive to a very stressful start here versus Papra. But Rosemary, absolute legend in the game, able to get it done versus Nico, who is also a very, very good player, by the way. So 2 extremely strong fraggers going face to face. Alter Ego do get alive, do get away with it alive. But 82 points for GS. I was highlighting that just beforehand, but it's only 3 points to go. It's not many. This is Loops' time to kick the old engine into gear, because it's been very slow today to get off this marker, consistently being in the danger zone.
That's really unpleasant of a place to be. I mean, yeah, it's 10th and down that are in danger here in these last two. Losing players, losing points, losing opportunities is big news for the teams at that lower side. D+, I mean, they're fairly split right now. Osal is on his own, picking up a pan. I mean, if another player from Papra Supermassive goes down here as well, that is going to be real bad news. I don't think Kamikaze knows there's a player on the inside, or actually maybe he does here, knows what building he's in, but they're going to regroup and get out of there. So see if they can stay alive, keep everyone now that they have remaining in this match. They definitely need it. I mean, they're right at the back of the pack chasing. They're just ahead of the pack that isn't. E+ though have laid a trap. They'll spot Kamikaze, do a lot of damage, but it's actually Nolbu to find Tron B out in the open, and Papra Supermassive are bleeding.
Yeah, now, we can put it this way, is that Papra Supermassive, their run's done. So we'll be seeing them in last chance now. You go down to 2 players this early on Miramar, you are not finding a lot of points. And in 98, it is a tall order from them. Even in the next game, I think it would be mathematically impossible to make it in towards the top 3. I think for Papra Supermassive, I think we can count them out now as a team trying to chase all those top 3 spots.
Yeah, it would be so they'd need to, wipe half the lobby themselves in the next match to be able to even think about getting up into 3rd place. And even then, that relies on GOAT not doing a thing in this match. So we'll have to see just what they can do. But, I mean, just solidify yourself, right? Play for those small ball games. If you get 10 more points this match, in these next 2 matches, you will be very, very secure. For Papra Supermassive, that might be what they're looking for. Anywhere over that 100-point boundary generally is what we said feels very safe, right? For not getting bumped down into the full elimination from PMGC. And right now, it's not the greatest of company there, right? With Team Secret getting 24 points only. Yeah, bad time for them. Reject, who tried their best today, and Tiamba, who out of nowhere had a little bit of a comeback. They're sort of in a possible launchpad position. So I think for this game, Tiamba and Reject, this is where we can count them out or start to really consider them and have the team start to fear them.
Yeah, again, you do have the situation where this is last chance saloon. This game, everything relies on this match. It's not going to be match 6. That's going to be the decider. It's this one which will enable match 6 to happen. For OG, again, if WizGod gets taken out of the vehicle here, now their life becomes a lot harder, but they still have next game to work with over towards top 11. But for the likes of Tiamba, Reject, for them, this match is so important. I think Tiamba had just a crazy run over on Erangel to set things up here, and it really will be some of those final moments to get this done.
Yeah, it's really tough stuff from front to back here on the engagements. Teams now moving their way down to the southwest side around Los Leones, where we saw Team Secret just there, along with OG. Moving down north, actually, it's only GS who are still up on the north side of this circle, north of El Pozo. Everybody else crammed in now to the hills to the southwest of Chumacero. Actually, Papra Supermassive did send over to Bartona. So as a duo, if it goes there, that's one way to try and earn a lot of points, even as a duo.
Indeed. He's got to live it out, really. D+ still looking to breach over the top side of Alpha Gaming. Themselves up in number 1, where they used to be is number 1. And doing it by 1 or 2 points would really rub salt in the wounds, considering that's exactly what they did to Regnum Kaya last year. A nice central position right now from Reject, John. I think they can play. It's a bit of a split, but they're waiting for zone 2. We know that that is a really big shrink on the circle. So for this kind of split, it's absolutely fair play by Reject when they're center.
Yeah, we'll see if they can earn the points for it, though, on that central position. Next circle, just about to pop. Okay, we're not going to Partona, but we are going to Bayo de Mar. And these hills are really very dangerous. APG sit atop them. Falcons are going to regroup. 9ZG taking the town by storm. And the Wolves crunching in from the north, from Ladriera. So, who's going to join them? Who's going to be able to push on through? And that central position for Reject is basically taken away immediately.
It's a bit unfortunate for Reject there. Being so split to try and get a position to then have to move over towards this portion of the map, which we actually haven't seen a lot of here at PMGC. I don't even think during Gauntlet, this is the first time we'll really see this position of the map. I know OG actually has a pretty good hold down towards the eastern side of La Tierra, but they're quite far from this one, and taking that position is going to be difficult. GS, though, rotating in from that west side, should be able to get a nice-ish position, but there's so many teams looking to get towards Minas del Valle.
Head down towards that southwest side. I mean, GS making their way on the west point. Loops now taking that Ladriera hill. APG happy to play up the top on the high ground. Big dogs of the lobby. They have shown weaknesses, though, and will this be one of them? It's not going to matter really too much for them either way. They're locked in those top spots. There's no way that two teams will be, or three teams rather, will be able to jump up on over. It might be a question of who's first and who has those bragging rights going in, but for now, it's more important for them just to chill out, have a good time, learn as much as they can about all these other teams that they may well very be facing in those grand final stages. I see they had that fight with GOAT in the last game where they just weren't quite able to hold out on their compound. GOAT were successful on the crash, and that's really what allowed GOAT to get that chicken dinner, right? If IC had got that chicken dinner, this is a very different match, but now they sit not quite 30 points behind Blank. They're 25 behind, but a big game here. They can take APG down on the hilltop. I mean, it could be for IC.
I mean, they are the closest. Like you said, with GOAT losing one player, it's a good opportunity to make it happen. Good as any. Wolves also in a fairly central spot right now. Alter Ego are on a long approach. In a circle. Take a knock here from Alpha. Sadly, OG do take a knock as they move in versus Genji. He's over towards Falak as well, which is not the player you want to lose.
Not in a moment like this. Definitely not. They'll be missing him sorely. But they've still got three players on side. Next circle coming through as well. With Minas del Valle held at the top, as we're seeing on our camera feed. And we're going up to the north side. So D+, going to roll straight past Papara Supermassive. And over towards that bridge. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Papara Supermassive going down fully here, but D+ might use the full squad.
Supermassive looking to take shots. They're coming in right on the south side here. This is an interesting rotate coming through from D+ Kia. Papara Supermassive getting ahead of them, though, is a big deal. And yeah, this is the team that D+ has been chasing down almost all game, which feels pretty rough for these poor guys. As their attempt to assault towards the top side of the lobby, it's just not happening. More damage pouring in. Now Wolves looking to finish the job here. He got consistently playing split from the rest of the team. He does survive far out towards the end, but I think sometimes he doesn't provide enough support to the team. By the time that they need a regroup, he's not quite with them. Go lose Kraken. Ooh. That's to Jafar. Just start to put some points on the board potentially.
I mean, this is big news for the bottom of the tables, right? But it's also big news for the top of the tables. If GOAT goes down here, and right now they are split from their reses with a lot of nades in hand for GS, every single one of them carrying some ordnance there. If GOAT go down here, that stops the third place bubble dead in its tracks and will make it a little bit easier for the teams chasing. And if GS get the points, they're chasing down Loops too. D+ getting on over the bridge. Would be nice to hold up the top there, but I mean, it's really difficult to keep this one under control with the number of positions on the hill to this northeast side that Osal's looking towards that have oversight, right? I don't think for D+ you could stop here. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just using it to leapfrog. And Osal might even be able to find an elim for it as well. They're crashing in. They know that there's someone down, someone wounded, and Doran can't do the dirty, not this time around. Not a repeat of Erangel, and now it's just Batten on the inside. And guess who's nowhere to be seen, Blank? It's Igor.
But it's a crazy setup. A crazy setup coming through from D+. The fact that you have Osal on the bridge and he's calling that I have the shot and I'm going to get the knock, and the rest of D+ trust him. That's the only way that they are that fast towards this fight, is if they trust him to get that knock and they sail in as those bullets are flying. Wolves had absolutely no time to react to this. I think for Igor, this is one of the few times where it's sort of excusable because that push was insane.
We're seeing a couple of nades flying in as well on that southwest side. Blank, GS, and Go still at loggerheads. Batten is besieged beneath on the ground floor. A lot of shotgun shells flying. There was a double nade over in the goat fight, and they found another. Now just one player standing. Batten is down on our main stream, but it's Go looking for the swivel. GS still giving it a good go, and that is Go down. They will fall short on this one. So a non-moving target now. 133 for our teams chasing. It's too far out of reach maybe for this match, but put yourself next door for the next one and see what you can find. Not only that, but Blank, GS, 11th place. Loops, what do you got?
That does knock Loops down, but this is Loops in a fantastic spot atop the hill right now. West side led the area. It's a really, really strong position to play. Alter Ego are trying to put some feelers out towards that location, though, see if they can get something done there. Tiamba, fairly central. They do take a fair bit of damage over to one of their players, but not down just yet. OG still at 3, so despite all the shenanigans happening on the eastern side, they were able to slowly push their way through.
Still just not a pleasant zone, this one, though. The valley that sits right down the middle is so polarizing on this next circle shift. I mean, the eastern side is slightly better, arguably, but I mean, it's a tough argument, even at that, right? Like, you've got Minas de Valle sat right on the southeast side, a little bit further north. The compound, obviously, that is by Gamba, by OG, those two positions. There's that road that sits in like a river, splits the circle.
Loops finding Wolves, last player there. That puts Wolves back, Loops back into 11th. They do take a knock though. I think that's from Alter Ego chiming in. And D+ takes down a lot from GS. So just as the door opens, it's suddenly closed by one of the best teams in the lobby, D+. In the arbiters of these western roads. Yeah, I mean, doing very well.
Doing so much work, but they do have to leave for D+. Their road forwards is going to be fraught with danger, I'm sure. The Falcons are a little bit ahead of them, but they've lost a player before as well. Papra Supermassive, they've still got their 2, and they found themselves a ditch. How will they be able to survive this one? You've got to wonder. Luke's taking damage. I mean, they've kept GS out by just a breadth of a hair. But if they go down here to Alter Ego, I mean, OG would love that. That would be brilliant news. To be able to find that opening. Maybe even Tianba in their central position.
Really question where this next circle goes, because if it heads over towards the western side, suddenly that hilltop becomes extremely important. So a lot of teams, it's pretty awkward over towards the eastern side anyway. Although Tiamba looks like they've got a okay spot to play around with. Getting assaulted on that location of the map is going to come through thick and fast because a lot of people will want that location. So anytime there's a third party up there, Tiamba better be ready to rebuff any other teams coming their way. But it's a slow game other than that right now. Reject still holding on to 4 players, playing just under the foot of the mountain on the southeast side. And it is this next shift which will determine how the rest of the game plays out.
I mean, unless it goes dead center, that would be the worst circle. I feel like a north shift. I mean, that is kind of the worst case scenario. It could be a little bit further northeast and be a little bit worse. But for a lot of teams, look at the ring of teams that is now out of zone. You've got GS, or the remnants of them, DK, you've got 9Z, you've got Gen G, APG, Team Secret, all now needing to push forwards from that south side. And they have to pick one of west or east. It is so nasty out there.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, for Alter Ego, they actually get a blessing here. We've been moving over towards that north side. Cuts a lot of their position in. There is a small location over towards the north side of them with buildings that they can play from. But I think right now they're more concerned at clearing out teams trying to get in from that western side. So that includes GS as well as D+. Papra Supermassive, hats off to them. They have had such a tough game.
Yeah. Looking like Thelma and Louise right now in that car. Actually able to get the repair on it. Okay, fair enough. One of the newer additions to PUBG Mobile, and that might play quite well for them.
I mean, it's one vehicle. You know, this baby can pack a lot of Papra Supermassive players and lives to tell the tale. I think that is feeling more like a trusty friend. A vehicle now. Gonna go with them to the very end, and they'll be sad to see it blow up in flames.
It's very likely to do. I thought Jafar might get the drop on Alva, but the wits were about him. Probably more preoccupied down towards D+, though. Actually, this does mean that Jafar could potentially just run in underneath them, under the cover of both of these two teams, holding front against one another. Stepping too far forwards, I don't think you can. Yeah, he's going to be able to make this dash, because neither team's going to drop down and crash the other one just yet. It's probably going to be more onto loops. And I mean, what a way to test your bubble skills right now than have players crash up on you. Falcons going to feel the brunt of it. Already a knock center. We know that when D+ smell blood in the water, they head on in, but Narvalo's here to play. And he gets the first on the Norbu. And Narvalo with two now as well. Will look for the flush. Fabian now under pressure with a nade from Redox, and Falcons just pretending to be wounded. But no, they're ready for the fight.
I love the push from D+, but yeah, I think that it was a very aggressive play, and they have been disrespecting the lobby all over the place today. Finally, Narvalo steps up with a DBS. Great double from him. Gen G, though, looked to take position off the back of this one. The fight was very quick, though, going through for the Falcons, so they got a nice reset on this, and it is a 3v3. Sadly, Narvalo's down. It's down to Koa and Ralph on the top side, but Koa whiffs the initial DBS. S12K, sorry. And Redox is out of ammo.
Oh, no. It's just nothing they could do. One hold was enough. That was all they could manage. And with 4 elims, the Falcons draw short of the mark. That means that very likely they are going to be looking in towards the last chance stage. At 31 points behind the bubble, with it potential to move as well. It's just not going to happen for the Falcons. Not today, unfortunately. We'll see how far they can get to secure themselves into that last chance, but they're doing all right. Again, this circle split down the middle by this road valley. Tiamba and actually Papra Supermassive.
Well,
okay, maybe not Papra Supermassive.
You've cursed them there. You've absolutely cursed them there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really mean of you, and you should be ashamed.
How do you say sorry in Turkish?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Team Secret. Currently on the top side, looking down towards inner circle, immediately getting shot as they step up. D+ still being a problem, and they take down Rosemary. The solo left remaining in chips. Oh, it's terrible news for Alter Ego. That is painful. That is really, really painful.
It's good news for Loops, though. Another player taken out from their flanks. Chips is going to do a lot of work to maybe keep them safe. Gen G able to run him down, but gives Loops a little bit of time whilst Claus is healing to deal with Alter Ego on the north side. They can re-establish. They do have to move, though. This zone is putting a lot of pressure on. APG still alive, by the way. They've been marching in slowly from the southeast side, from their high ground, and marching as they go, taking these shots out, taking these fights. Doc, he knows there's players up top. He's not too worried. That ridgeline, really difficult to descend towards APG. They're all going to line up on it.
I think OG's been spotted by Alter Ego on the top side. Loops versus Gen G now, though. A very important fight.
Ooh, absolutely. For Loops, especially. There is a knock already over towards Ratto Boy, and Alter Ego are starting to come down the hill as well. Are they going to crash in, or are they going to try and bookend this fight? The knock, the flush comes through onto Ratto Boy, and now Alter Ego are within nade range. Gen G taking a lot of damage as Team Secret are swept aside. Tiamba still have a player going as well, but their run is going to be over soon. Gen G tried to get out of here. They spotted Alter Ego over the hill, and they didn't want to get embroiled, but Reject are crunching in as well. Oh, Gen G have nowhere to go. Not a hope. Not a chance, and they'll fall down in the open hillsides here.
I mean, Luke's getting a lot of value off the back of this, though. Tiamba held versus Team Secret. Did really well. Currently, just a solo player left remaining. But for all these teams down towards the bottom, they are hoping that Alter Ego can live up to their name and take down Loops.
In the smoke. Alva biding his time, steps up, but Moana's down in the back lines. No trade, and Alva's going down next. Loops holding on for dear life in 11th place, and they want more than that. They're going to move in with 3 now, blank from the high ground. Reject not quite in position to take them down. Look at the chase. It is on. They are actually up into 10th place now. And with Tiamba chasing, in 11th place is 90 points. I mean, they've got 4 players alive. It's maybe a little bit out of reach for now, but how close can they get for the last? We'll see what they can do. And not only that, Inner Circle are down on that roadside too, dead center.
And looking to push further, and the circle moves over towards them. For Tiamba, they need to deal with Alpha Gaming. It will be one of the biggest tests of their tournament so far. Considering the fact that Tiamba's been barely into any of these endgames, just a step up now in these final hours of Groove Green is somewhat surprising. But yeah, 9Z is now the target. In 11th place, Loops see themselves a little bit safer going forward. But Tiamba, it's not the craziest of points that they'd need at this point in time. I think they need 7 more elims and the chicken dinner to break even, which is doable. It's definitely doable from this spot. I think that the issue comes is that Alpha Gaming is also in these ending circles, and that is not a team to be trifling with.
They are in these circles, sure. They are getting shot at by Loops. OG get run down by Reject. And Tiamba aren't the only team chasing, remember? It could be a really, really close battle going into our last match, blank, as to who's going to take that 11th place spot. But for the 3rd place bubble, if Inner Circle don't get a big game here, get close to 133, we're pretty much locked in. But they might be on for a big game. If they can hold this side of the road, they can hold their position. But with APG above them, that's so difficult.
Basically, Inner Circle have to win here. Joel knows exactly where the players are. Drops a Molotov down. The util's pretty lacking on the side of APG, but when has that really mattered? These guys are gun skill gods in the lobby. Tiamba, though, took this moment to move over the top. The nades are feeling pretty lackluster, though. Not quite hitting on target. They have the high ground, but they've got to find these shots if they want to move further through this tournament.
Loops across the way, Reject just behind the little ridge, and QZ connects with the bank just to his right. Not over towards Reject. They move down the hills. They're going to be into the firing line. This is a mad dash for the forward duo now. For Tiamba, their backlines are getting torn apart, and Loops are holding on for dear life too. They're in 10th place, but maybe they could go even further. Now up into 4th place. They have 4 points between them and Papra Supermassive. Blank, I think they've already jumped up to potentially being completely safe here. After being on the precipice of getting eliminated, down in 11th place, this is the game that they needed. For IC, though, the Reject, it is so important for them as well.
Yeah, for Tiamba, they're done. Couldn't quite make that push down the hillside, and we're a little bit too afraid to take the fight over towards APG. Top gets knocked, and time is dwindling away. They will be able to pick him back up again, so be able to get that heal through. It's the exit from this hillside that's going to be tough for Alpha Gaming as they move down the hillside. Reject, although their position is extremely uncomfortable, very claustrophobic, it's not that bad. It really is not that bad in this game.
Well, not for now. I think when APG leave the high ground, Loops are going to have a lot more impact onto Reject's spot, right? Because the reason that Loops can't peek is because of APG up on that high ground. Certainly not as effectively as they would have liked, but the nades are starting to rain down towards IC. Maybe. They forgot their brollies too. And they are going to have to try and shrug it off. Not quite connecting. And actually, APG are out of nades. Almost everyone is, actually.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I mean, Reject's got practically nothing on board. The reason why Loops can't take shots at Reject, by the way, is because there's a hill in the way.
Like, yeah, but they can't peek over the hill because APG will take them down immediately.
Yeah, I guess so. It's still have to push forward, in which case they're in sight lines of IC too.
That's a difficult scenario there. APG just holding onto this high ground for as long as possible. Top really committing to it. I mean, he has that buggy to his left. I don't know how healthy it is, but we'll have to get into it at some point. The first players drop down. They have 2 smokes. Not able to get another knock onto IC makes it really, really difficult. And everyone's waiting for them to make that move because the next zone is playing and it is going to close. Reject more central than us.
And Reject just need to have a little bit of impact. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit over towards this end game. Specifically over towards Alpha Gaming as they rock their way down this hillside. That's the team they desperately need to take out. Good shots though from Reefus over towards inner circle straight away. Doc also finding one over towards Neil Zada. This is a commanding presence to be felt inside the lobby. And they're just letting this vehicle roll.
All right, I mean, use it as that moving blockade. Yol still behind it. Nobody stopped the tires just yet. But Reiji slides one under, and that is going to be Zol going down. Loops are starting to fall as well. Reject in with a chance here, but Reefus makes it all the harder, and APG still got 4 players alive. Flank Loops are stepping up now. With APG taking off that hilltop, they could go for it, but no, they still have complete broadside. They will be taken down. A Reject guarantee a second place locked in. Reiji needed to get back up here, but remember, there's no nades. Hang on a minute, they found one. That's from the crate. Over on towards IC. Top launches it forwards. Is it going to connect? It looks good, and it's going to get both of them. They pick up the spoils of war, and APG, they are spoiling plenty of days with that chicken dinner.
Yeah, and I think now it's definitely the bragging rights should be in the Alpha Gaming camp over in first place. It's been a wonderful set of 3 days. A little bit of a scary one on day 1. Sorry, a little bit of a scary one come day 2, but day 1 was just incredible. And they've just kept things fairly consistent from there. Miramar, they do extremely well on, but for Reject, second place, couple of points. Still need to do a lot more in this final game, but I do believe now the top 3 should be fairly secure.
I mean, it's 133, I believe, for the third place bubble, and just behind them, within arm's reach, is IC. Maybe it's a 2-horse race. Maybe things could change. There's only one way to find out.
And with that game right there, Alpha Gaming lay the hammer down on the rest of the lobby. They said, we're going to be the champs of Group Green. Don't you worry about it. That's how you finish the game in style, Neptura.
Isn't it just APG coming in hot? I love how they played this so much, Max, because they had that off angle, they had that top of the hill, they were looking down on everybody, they just wrapped around, cleared who they needed to clear, took IC's position, said, done deal, we're going to finals, don't ever doubt us again.
I was like, I don't really like the fact that they went north and didn't crash onto IC. And then they just start hitting all their shots. I'm like, well, if you play like that, I mean, you kind of completely counter my point of like how the macro was going to go. But Dog, top game here, over 1,000 damage, 4 eliminations, and all taking quite a bit of damage except for Reefus, of course. But otherwise, everyone doing some heavy lifting. And with this game in particular, I think not only here, Hodrix, do they secure their #1 spot above D+ and GOAT team, I think Top might just secure his MVP award here for Group Green, because this guy's been on top from day 1 until the end of day 3.
Well deserved. That's a fact, right? I mean, I'm telling you what, dude, Top went absolutely crazy in this tournament. Day 2, again, like we heard from Blank, was a little shaky from them. You know, had us a little worried there for a second. But that Day 1 performance on Top here at towards the end, it was just too good. I mean, what a crazy match here. Things did kind of work out for that kind of like miracle storyline. GOAT went out super early, Max, with only 1 point.
Yeah, very early on this match. It was kind of a tough fight they were involved into, right? Niptura couldn't really make their way out. I'm sure they wanted to exit the fight, but they were just locked in Valle del Mar itself, really struggling to find any good exit point from there. And it was just the end of the line for them. But you know what? We did see then a team from Pakistan, and shall not name again, getting some decent points on board. A strong finish. I really want to see the leaderboards, though. Is it realistically still possible for some teams to make it happen? I don't know.
You could name them at this point, brother.
I'm not. I get in trouble. I'm not naming them. Just for my safety. I don't want my Instagram DMs flooded. I am not saying their name.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. They're going to need every little bit of luck that they can possibly get. You can see the frustration on AE's face, especially. That was a real tough loss right there for them.
Yeah, it was. I think we were discussing it, right, Max? We were kind of saying they had such a great advantage over Loops, and they just did nothing with it up on the top of that hillside. If they had been able to do a little bit more, they would have easily gotten a top 3 finish.
I was really so excited for them to do something, and they send Rosemary at one point for Alter Ego over to the western side. He gets spotted by Chips as solo. You know, fair enough, maybe they just didn't expect him to be there, but still, you need to be ready for those scenarios as we have the rotations of some of these teams. D+A, big Eastern rotate next to Los Leones, but APG, those 2-2 splits we saw for a majority of that game from APG Niptura were just so well executed, and the regroup on time when Tiamba pushed on them, even that was just a thing of absolute beauty this game.
I love to see what teams can do when they're relaxed, right? Because the moment they aren't really feeling much pressure, or any pressure whatsoever, right? Top of the leaderboard, well away from the rest of the other teams, they were big chilling. They were just like, hey, we could do this. Let's be smart with it. Let's have fun. Let's take advantage of these teams. And that's exactly what they did. A real masterclass coming in for them in terms of those rotations, in terms of those splits. This final one in particular, I really loved, you know, Zeol going on the off angle there. But this is what a relaxed team play can get you. 22 points on the board, 12 eliminations. I mean, it's 22 points they don't need, and crucially, it's 22 points that have now been taken away from the rest of the lobby from those teams that really did need those points.
Yeah, because Reject put themselves in a position, actually, Hodrix, where they could escape the bottom 5 finally. They almost did it at the start of the day. They kind of slowed down in the middle, but this 13-point game, does it keep the hope alive for Japan to have one team, just one, maybe go into last chance, maybe make it to the grand finals? Because again, if they don't make it, Japan, they're fully out of this year's global championship.
I'm gonna keep it real, right? I'm gonna keep it real here. You know, I've seen too many final games of tournaments, right, to have faith. We see it time and time again where that last game is so crazy. It's so difficult to even get 3 points, let alone more than that. So it's really up to them here and now to flip the script entirely. If they're able to pull it out here, Max, it will be historic in my eyes. I will explode in excitement.
I'm sure Sarah would be so happy to make it happen, but we just got to see the leaderboards. Sure, we got to see how many points. If it's double digits, it's going to be tough. If it's single digits away, there's a chance. Maybe it could be happening for them. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Let's see right now. Okay, for Reject, yeah, 9-0. So by the way, Loops, once they got that position, I was like, if they don't put up some serious points right here, they're throwing completely. So they did that. They got it done. They're no longer the place team. That is now to 9Z, right? GS, 5 points away. It can happen. OG, 6 points. Actually, no, wait, no, that's way more than that. 11. Oh, that's 11. Yeah, 11. And then you got Reject with 12. I think there's too many factors, like I said, going on for it to happen. But is it mathematically possible? Yeah.
Yeah. But realistically, improbable, right?
That's correct.
That's the situation we're in.
Yeah, I mean, realistically improbable, but if we look at the wins that we've seen from a lot of these teams so far, it eclipses 12 points by quite a bit. So it is very much possible. It's just, I think that 9Z would have to go out early and GS would have to go early just to make that really a feasible thing because for both of these teams that we've just not seen the presence from either of them as of yet to really dominate both the two teams ahead of them and the rest of the lobby to get the win.
So, question now, top 3, is it done? Is GOAT remaining in top 3 until the end? What are we thinking, guys? I think that with that point lead, it seems pretty locked in unless a massive hot drop happens, but I don't see it happening.
It's over. In my opinion, it's all over. It's again one of those things, right, where we have to see something magical at this point, and it's gonna be hard. The reason why, just to back up that data, right, besides what we saw in the gauntlet with 20 players left in zone 5, right, which could definitely happen here, APG just got tons of points, and they're just destroying dreams at this point, because every single one of those points, so many other teams desperately need it. And then on top of that, can we just talk about that push from D+ onto Wolves? It was disgusting, right? Oh my gosh, one knock, the rest of the team was on them, and the Wolves didn't stand a chance. So when you got the top squads going like that, and so many squads at the bottom that know they ain't got no chance, it's just so difficult to put up double-digit points, let alone just a few, Neptura.
Exactly, especially with what we've been talking about, right? The last game of any sort of stage is the one that's the most chaotic. It's the one that has the most unpredictability in it, right? So for a team that has already been struggling when teams are playing normally, for them to expect them to then go all out in a chaotic game is going to be really, really difficult. The only thing I could think of is that they might just take that chaos and run with it, because that's kind of the only thing left to them to be able to take advantage of. But otherwise, it's really going to be difficult in this final match.
Hot drops, man. I know we say it every time and it never happens. Maybe this will be the one to make it happen. Jamba, Reject, Orangutan, GS. Maybe if you're looking for a cheeky little 9Z, you know, just saying, that will be a juicy one for the history books, or even towards the top. I mean, if you want, genuinely, if you want to eliminate GOAT team, you need to fight them early. You know where they dropped. They went Hacienda. I don't think they're going to change that up realistically, Hodrix. I think that they went for Hacienda despite Miramar, the previous Miramar, still being really tense for these teams. I think they're going to go back there if the plane is not too bad. That's a target. You can go, and Hacienda, we know on Miramar is like the hot drop location that teams love to go for in competitive. If there's any place to make it happen, it would be on this game in Hacienda.
I mean, we know it's not going to happen, but damn do we want it to, right? I mean, it's just like every part of our analytical brain, right? I mean, to be us, it's common sense. Why not, right? If you don't make it here and now, right, it's going to be so stressful, right? So why take the risk? What do you got to lose at this point, right?
If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, sorry, I'm jumping in. Didn't you have a chat with Sarah at PMWC last year, Hot Jukes, and he regretted not going for the hot drop on Alpha 7, right, on Miramar?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So in the last, so the year before at PMWC, I was saying Reject need to hot drop Alpha 7. They gotta do it. They didn't, and they did not win because of that. It actually punished them big time. They lost serious money. And I talked to Sarah after that tournament, and I was like, bro, how could you not hot drop? And he was like, dude, I mean, we just thought that we were just gonna leave it to play and just play how we've been playing. And he looked at me with tears in his eyes, and he told me, I will never do that again, ever. Next time, I'm hot dropping, you know? And honestly, this is it. Sarah, make it happen, brother, right? I mean, there could not be a better time for you. You are quite behind 9Z. What is that? Yeah, 12 points, right? Yes. You gotta hot drop him. You gotta do something to stop him here.
Yeah, you got to, especially when it's so close. 12 points is not unheard of. Like I said before, we've seen far more points coming out of a win or a top 2 in the matches that have come before. So 12 points, it's all entirely doable. Just don't let that pressure get to you.
Yeah, the Orangutan were training, dropping APG in the past right during the first stage of this tournament. Hey, maybe use that training for a positive outcome. Maybe go for the 9Z hot drop. That could be a fun one. But I know we're going for it. I'm sure some people are just like, okay, guys, we get it. Hot drop would be good. But it's just, if you're at the bottom right now, you're out of the tournament. There's so much on the line. After this very next game, in the next 30 minutes or so, 5 teams are fully out of PMGC 2025. Do you want to go out without a fight, or do you want to give it a final shot, a final opportunity that you take to maybe redeem this tournament for yourself and maybe make it back up in at least the last chance to have a glimmer of hope to maybe go to the grand finals? You have to try it. You can't let your fate in the hands of others here, Hotchukes. You need to take that for yourself and give it your best shot.
Oh, you gotta make it happen right here, right now. One more match left to go. 20 seconds are left on the clock, guys. Put some hype in the chat. Give those teams, those players, all of your energy, because right after this, 5 teams, we ain't gonna see them until 2026, right? So let's see what could happen here. Last game of Group Green. John and Blank, take it away.
With one more match to go, Blank, it is here and now that teams need to make their stand, to make their mark, and book their ticket forwards to the next stages or to the grand finals. There are a few things up for grabs. There are a few things in the light now, and we need to conclude our tournament here for Group Green. That bubble at the bottom looks very, very dangerous. The top, a little bit less so, but still could change at the drop of a hat. We'll just have to wait and see as our teams are dropping in for the last time.
GOAT realizes it though. They drop very differently down towards Minas del Sur here. I think they're expecting a hot drop, which is fair enough, all things considered. I think that teams likely were looking for that, and the team in particular would be Inner Circle. They don't really have anything to lose. They're the only team that can catch up at this point in time. So GOAT don't even want to risk it, right? As long as they get 5 or 6 points and then just basically hope that Inner Circle don't get a 22, 23 point game, they're fine. They really are chilling. So I think for GOAT, they just need to play it slow. The fact that D+ are down here, though, is a little bit odd. That is a shift and a half as well towards the north side of the map.
Ooh, that's tasty. Up onto the north side. Hey, it's Tianba in a middle circle. Maybe, why not? You know what? I'm still holding out for the Team Secret chicken dinner as well to cap things off. The gap between first and second place right now, Blank, is 23 points. And Team Secret have 26 points. It's really bad. Not good at all. Very disappointing. Unfortunate stuff. So it'd be good to just close down on a little bit of a high, even if it is a commiseration victory. But I'm sure the other teams will certainly say that they deserve it more, that they want it more, because it is so important. You can see those tables on the right-hand side. With IC, the only team that can realistically catch up to GOAT. Gen.G with an outside chance. Oh, maybe with a miracle.
The thing is that the GOAT has absolutely caused a big problem for themselves, right? with this circle on the north side. It is a long journey for them. And Inner Circle didn't even go for it. So I think for GOAT here, it's a bit of a problem, because you got to get through 9Z, you got to get through APG, D+ are all around here as well. 9Z is going to fight to the bitter end, knowing they're right on the precipice. D+ is not an easy team to push through. Neither is Alpha Gaming. So GOAT might have caused themselves more problems than they fixed by moving down towards the south side.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's tough, but to be honest, it's unlikely, because of where the circle is, that you're going to have to push through these teams, right? They're going to want to get away as well. But it is when you get to the circle, sure, that they might be lining that zone and making things a lot harder. No casualties just yet. So hot drops, nah, they didn't happen. And I feel like thinking that teams towards the bottom of the table should hot drop, I absolutely oppose that. I think that there's too many moving parts down at the bottom. You drop on, if Reject say drop on GS or 9ZG, they lose a player, and all of a sudden, GS are hunting them down, OG are hunting them down, and they're at a disadvantage. I think you just play your game as best you can. I see maybe they should go for that hot drop, right? They're the only team that could realistically gain a lot and lose not too much by going for that hot drop, as basically the only team that could jump onto GOATs. But GOATs, obviously, they know what's up.
You basically lose nothing. Like, Gen G would need to have a 17-8 elim match and a chicken dinner to make that catch-up. So I think for Insoko, it's not even a case if you don't lose too much, you just don't lose anything by going for that. Other than potentially losing two or one players, right? 1 or 2 players. At that point, yeah, you've ruined your chances, but you gave it a good go. And you potentially basically put a line in the sand of what target you need to hit there. But we're taking a look at some of our teams towards the bottom. Loops, I think they're safe. In fact, they're absolutely safe. Maybe they're absolutely... I think it would require a lot. It would require a lot. It would require a lot.
3 teams to do really well in the spots beneath them. But, I mean, GS, they've started out well, right? They've got another point now. 9ZG not feeling so happy, and 9ZG as well, all the way down to that southwest side. And GS, they are slap bang in the middle of this circle. But very different scenarios for these 2 teams. Only 4 points behind now with that Elim bound GS. They might just be able to do it. They might be able to squeak through.
Some good shots coming through from Tiamba here, but no dice on the Nox just yet. Trying to take those shots, but not finding them. Another high ground outpost found by GS. They will should be able to get a player over there eventually. In the meantime, we've got Alter Ego hanging around on the eastern side. They can't make it either. This becomes a bit of a weird game where a lot of teams realize that we're going to last chance whether we like it or not. So they're going to play a very slow game. For Falcons, immediately taken down by Wolves as Doran crashes directly through him.
Leave cover low, but Redox is there. They were too preoccupied with confirming that flush. There's still 1 or 2 more players going. Doran does take a lot of damage there as well. Over the ridgeline, Redox has another reload going as well. It connects 1 more, but it's not quite enough to finish the job. At range now, it's just sneaking away from him, but there is some damage done back towards the Wolves. But both of these 2 teams, middle of the pack teams right now, extracting points from one another, which crucially means that they're not going to the teams on the bubbles.
It's good. Again, it always gets a little bit weird towards this final match where teams aren't really playing up to par because there's honestly nothing left to play for. I think for Wolves, Falcons, Alter Ego, these 3 teams, potentially even Gen G, I'd say more than likely Gen G, all those teams know that they've secured their position. There's no reason to push much further than this. What's asked of them is absolutely a calamitous approach to this lobby. There's like 20 elims on the game. That's hard. That's very hard. And the chicken dinner to finish off. And those things happen naturally. I don't think you can artificially force those games. It's a case where, we get a good first initial fight. We ran to a third party here. That team's fighting there. We can third party that as well. Suddenly on 14, and then you can start to bump up the points from there. But yeah, it doesn't happen by a team just taking fight after fight after fight because it's just not possible.
And it doesn't happen if Loops are going to take you down. 2 knocks on the approach. Alter Ego, they're just going to ram straight into a brick wall, but Snape and Alva still alive. Rafinha on the inside with a mini 14 at close range, acting like a shotgun bow, and goes for the flush as well before Alva turns the corner. He's out of ammo completely though, Blank. He needs to rely on his teammates, and Rafinha, oh my goodness me, that looks pretty. But no, do shut him down. Loop, stay alive. Alter Ego close down their tournament. 105. They're going to last chance, but they will not go to finals.
Yeah, there's been some weird plays from Alter Ego towards the end of this. Honestly, again, that sort of felt like we're going to last chance. That's it. We're going to last chance, phase. Type of fight there. We head over towards credit fields. Nice bit of high ground to play around with. Wolves can play in there as well, but Tiamba in that position. Where's OG?
Where is OG? I don't know. Blue zone somewhere. Lost track of the
very close to getting knocked as well.
Yeah, I think that might be coming through. That's hopefully being healed up. Yeah, okay. They've got some meds, so getting top back up. But yeah, that's a long way from the circle. We'll see when they appear. I mean, they started over on the southeast side, down towards Impala and Truck Stop. Yeah, so I guess they're just looting for ages.
Yeah, now they're getting to the zone now. That's a long journey. Very long journey to take. Reject coming through, taking a pretty swift rotation on the southeast side of things. This is around Loops, who, in those final moments, yep, they're able to make it happen, get into last chance. Reject don't really want to take shots at them too early here. For Reject, they are 12 points behind 9Z, who are coming in from the south side, and it's quite a safe path for 9Z as well. A lot of areas that they can deny sightlines from and stay undercover, under wraps as they move into this circle. Most of the most prominent positions are already taken towards the center here. So 9Z can play a very secretive game going forwards.
Unfortunately, though, they're close to D+, which is going to make things a lot harder when they inevitably clash with them. The hills in the middle of this zone are really dominant in terms of sightlines, Blank, and that's where Wolves sit right now. I think if I'm any team that surrounded them, I'm worried about it. The access from the north side is the easiest approach, and that's where Igor is going to be starting out. Reject. Ooh, they've been spotted. They've taken a knock here. And APG, they just won't leave them alone. This is playground bully levels.
It's hard to get Sarah back up as well. I would 100% say Sarah is probably the best player on that squad. Him going down here is a massive nail in the coffin. Or Reject, if they can't get him back into the fight. I don't think they're going to try for it. They have to just basically ask him to crawl into cover, and maybe then they can grab him. But even so, APG is going to be ready to pick him up quite quickly, and Ziol does exactly that. And with that, I would say the chances for Reject are becoming very slim. OG finally makes their way into the circle through water treatment. Team that desperately needs a large game now to get into last chance or risk getting taken out of the tournament here and now in the bottom 5.
Ooh. Well, that circle certainly helps. They need 11 points to catch up to 9ZG, but that assumes that 9ZG don't get any points this match, Blank. We'll see if D+ can ruin their day. Help out OG. Just about skin through. GS, though, still another roadblock in the way. That's what we were talking about before, right? There's so many moving parts down at the lower end of these tables that you can't just go for one team and target them and take them out the running and hope that you can catch up after that. Because there's about 4 teams really chasing for 9ZG's spot, and then a 5th team if you include 9ZG as well, it's definitely not something that you can just allow to happen. Losing a player like this, other teams get a massive benefit for it.
It's a nice spot for Reject. It's a shame they're not here with 4 players. Tiamba in a very similar location off towards their north side. Tiamba and Reject, you know, clasping hands right now. Bottom of the tables, just trying to make it happen. Ralph takes a knock there. That is from Papra Supermassive. Tron B able to find that one. Dropping Falcons now down to just 2.
Putting Papra Supermassive up on 99. Anywhere over 100 is where we were saying that safety zone is, right? In terms of getting to that last shot stage guaranteed. And I think they're going to be able to do a little bit more than that if Team Secret continue to allocate points to their tally. And crucially, not to the teams around the bubbles. Oh, goodness me. It is a little bit lackluster for our teams on the bubble so far. But it is Miramar. This generally moves to the late game. Papra Supermassive want that century. They will claim it with Xerus as that final triple-digit maker.
Go thread the needle, by the way. Pretty good rotate. They just get to the south side of Papra Supermassive and Team Secret at the moment in a fairly decent position as well. They find a shot over towards Wolves. And I think that it's going to be hard to assault that position. I feel like because GOAT was able to grab that spot with near to no casualties, basically no utility required to get into that position as well, the inner circle's life now becomes really hard. To catch up to them whilst they're sat here, it's very difficult. I think that GOAT's going to remain in the circle for quite a while as well off the back of that. It's not looking promising for Inner Circle.
We'll see what this next stage brings, though. The circle will show itself in about 10 seconds now, Blank. A lot of teams on that north side, so potential that they want to use that as an approach route. You see D+ went for a wide wrap around that east edge, Blank. And on that north side, they're pushing now in towards Gen G with OG poking their noses in. And you're right, I think this might be GOAT having a real solid time. And if Falcons give them 2 points, that's going to make Inner Circle's life so much harder as well. Now Valo goes very, very low, does go down. Redox now finds one, turns it over now to Killer Joe, who is in this building, looks for the pump action, and he's good for it. Uh-oh, GOAT lose a player. They haven't been able to find an Elim just yet. Now Valo's still alive. Is there a third party? The Wolves chime on in. Now Valo's still bleeding out. The point's still not allocated. A lot of damage done by Redox, and the threading needles come on through from the off angles. Steps back, goes for the first aid. GOAT looking like there's some trouble about it. The Wolves come on in. Maybe they'll steal this point against the Falcons. Look for that Elim, look for that flush. The spray down around the corner, and they might just give that point over, but I think GOAT might be on the ropes.
I think GOAT is absolutely on the ropes here. They might not even get that point over towards the Falcons either. It will be picked up there. GOAT do not get a single point. 0 total. Inner Circle, someone just answered their prayers, and that someone was the Wolves.
Plenty of prayers going out right now, and not least of which, going towards the goodwill of OG. We do manage to get back across with this god. The transition's there for a tanky. I mean, getting across even with the re-knock is a solid option. D+ right on the other side of this compound. Nades are going to start to come in fairly soon. GOAT not done and dusted just yet. 2 points here. Might be all they need to stay safe. The nade, though, is big. And Wolves want even more. Igor around the outside with the bouncer. Gets the knock. It's all up to Twix for GOAT to keep them alive. But this will be the second game in a row that they go down. They only got 1 point in that last Miramar. This time around, it could be a big fat 0. And it could spell their drop from the top 3. But it all relies on IC, what they can do. Twix, what have you got?
GOAT is certainly teasing Inner Circle. We'll put it that way. Giving them a chance 2 times in a row. For Inner Circle, absolutely just have to feel the pressure off them right now. Just play their game. And it is going to require a pretty big one, but that is the 0 pointer there from GOAT, setting the boundary at 133. Inner Circle with 4 players. It has been a while since we've seen a big Inner Circle game. We know they have the chops on them to do it.
They do have that chance. A 9 Elim chicken dinner would be what they need to draw level. I don't know who wins the tiebreaker right now. But we'll have to get that info fed over to you as soon as possible. APG going down to, well, one of their players going down towards Papra Supermassive, who are still racking up the points tallies. They're on 101 now. Trying to school the rest of them, but it wasn't too long ago that they were in with an outside chance of getting into those top 3. Not to be this time. The crash for APG up towards OG.
OG. This is
with the
sad. Getting pincered by the 2 top teams in the lobby is so rough.
Huge. First pickup is good. Needs to finish that flush and gets away with it as well. WizGod backs up. The healing can come through, so no opening casualties, but that nade does connect. And it moves over towards the northeast side on this circle. Blank, I'm thinking IC are having a real tough time here. And it is really up to them to change that 3rd place spot. In the meantime, though, we're back on board with OG. Atanki's bleeding out. Aru is down. And D+, they're holding. They're not pushing out on this one.
Yeah, it feels cruel. It does feel cruel. I mean, D+ knows they don't have to move out on this one. Good shots from Tiamba, though. We'll find one from Loops. 2 players get into the building. Top's furious with D+. Like, why won't you join the fight? Sends a big nade over towards him. Wakes them up out of their reverie.
The stupor shaken from their eyelids. As Loops are burning away. That is a flush coming on through. You need that first aid to come off very, very quickly. Last player for Loops. They've done enough, though, today to stay in for the last chance guaranteed. And, I mean, that's as good as they could have hoped, really. I think for Loops, it's it's better than certainly where they were earlier in today on that 11th place position. They're up in 9th. They're over 100 points. They're feeling pretty chill with it.
9ZG just playing things out slow and makes sense as well. Good day from AKOP over towards D+. They're holding their own in one of the most difficult fights they have ever been in. With the assistance of APG, big knocks galore, but no elims for OG.
Oh, that point went over to the nade from top. Doc now moving across the open ground. They have to shimmy out of this compound, and D+ have the good side. Nade still trying to catch them, and there's the point that they were looking for. Do claim that one back. AKOP leading the charge, but Osal's on the deck. Can he find the shot? Stands up, but no, Osal goes down, and they move through fast. Doc low as well, and AKOP gets that flush going through. A nice pick up there, and they will find it again. D+ now gone. It's 4 elims found for OG. They want to keep this one going, and it's APG to try and stop them. Bouncer off the wall, looking for the nade to connect, and they still need to get out of here. APG down on 2, and it's 2 of the strongest teams in the lobby coming up against OG, and found wanting.
This is India fighting for their lives here, for their tournament lives, versus 2 of the most insanely strong squads in their lobby. And they're holding their own right now. It's impressive. It's definitely impressive. It's a market improvement, but it comes right at the end of the day. They've got a little further to go here with 9ZG getting 2 points. It only makes things worse.
Ooh. Reject. They are done and dusted. Unfortunately for them, they just came in at the wrong time. A little resurgence, but it was not to be. 9ZG hold 11th place, and they hold Reject. They get 4 points for it. But we're back on board with OG getting the nade onto Doc. A little taste of his own medicine. And Top now the last to stand in a 1 versus 3. Can he play on the inside? Can he play this boundary hard enough? He steps in. The DBS does so much, and OG take them down. Blank. They have 6 elims, but with 9ZG getting 4, they're moving further and further off into the horizon. It's still necessary for OG to go further.
No matter what happens in the 6th game of the day, at least India puts to bed all the rumors right there about the firepower not quite being up to scratch versus the 2 top teams in the lobby that are able to come out victorious with 3 players on board. I genuinely think this has been a great learning experience for them, and I can only imagine that when they play in their regional tournaments, it's going to be very scary for some of the other teams after they come back from this boot camp. But let's see if they can make it into last chance now. Like you said, the target is still moving. It was 10 points. It's still now 9.
And not only that, the team that is likely to take down 9ZG, or most likely rather, is GS. And if they get the points, then they're just closer to that 11th point boundary as well. And I mean, it is a real domino chain that needs to fall for OG to make this one. Crashing through Papara Supermassive might be the way to do it. If they're preoccupied with Team Secret, maybe they can extract value. And getting over here and getting the 3rd party on it, I don't think this is a terrible idea for OG. They do need the points.
I think for OG, they have to start sweeping now and get a little aggressive with it. I mean, they are looking very good in this match so far. Nico takes shots down towards Dora. I think that's an aggressive push out from him. But I think that Wolves realize they need to leave from this compound at some point. Inner Circle's been far too quiet this game. Absolutely far too quiet. I think that they're worried about giving away those points. They're worried about going down early. But they still need a strong position in the circle. I can forgive being quiet as long as you've got a strong spot with 2 players already down. It's done. It is done.
It's all done and dusted. No 3rd place change around for them. Icy could not make the transition from that high ground. Goats lock in 3rd place unless the Wolves pull off a miracle here. Blank. It would be a 102 towards the top to jump up. It would be, what is that, like a 31-point jump? Oh, I don't think so. As 3 players, they're right on the outside. In the meantime, though, OG trying to move around this fight. WizGod moving in position. Maybe they're going to get a 3rd party here. They do have cover off from this low ground engagement, as Tianba still haven't got rid of Ratto Boy.
This is an unbelievable battle for last chance, by the way. We have 9th downwards still in, barring Reject in 15th place. It is unbelievable unbelievable what we're looking at right now. OG still hasn't jumped in on this fight. I feel like they could have come in a little bit sooner, mopped up some of these elims that they desperately do need.
The Wolves down on their last leg.
Massive out.
One player now alive for the Wolves, looking to get those reses. Doran crawling forwards. OG more preoccupied with getting closer to the zone, but as teams start to fall, the placements add up, and those gap closing potential positions eke away from them. It is getting really late in the day now as GS move up to clash. They're third partying with 3-player flex out.
Just taking shots. They find one. I feel like OG should have made this push over to the west side a little bit sooner. They're looking for center right now, looking for those placement points to see them ahead. But what they don't know is that 9Z is currently on a 4 side on the east, but Ratto Boy currently dealing with Tiamba. Needs to close this out. They can still get the reses.
QZ on the corner. Bouncing the smoke. Ratto Boy still not in the sightlines. Has another nade. He's moving around. They've got the players stepping up to deal with it, but they haven't connected just yet. In with a shotgun. Now for another chance. The reses can come through. In the meantime, Team Secret taking down the Wolves on this north side of the circle. Ratto Boy still scrabbling around. There's a big nade on the airburst, and he's able to get a flush. Another nade cooking. And they're not stepping forwards. They're not moving in. They're waiting for these reses, and immediately he steps out and re-knocks them. It's still only 2 players for him to deal with. He's charging. Ratto Boy scurries on in around the outskirts of Tianba's compound, and finally they're able to snap the trap, and it is Loops going down, but that is not what you want to see. I mean, to be fair for Tiamba, I wasn't expecting great things today, but they made me hope with the position that they had something could happen. But the teams now challenging for 11th place are getting fewer and further between.
I mean, for Tiamba, just push the guys at 2, man. Come on. I know you want to confirm, but it's one player. You just play from both angles. He's got no smokes to work with. I think they're absolutely terrified here. And again, I would be as well. The adrenaline must be pumping for that squad, and the nerves must be an all-time high. OG suffering 86 points. 9Z starting to earn those placement points too. Makes this all the harder now. GS with a player inside the building, and 9Z continuing to try and put up more points going forward. Tiamba not quite making the flex out yet. They will be out to open zone. It's hard. It's tough. It's scary.
And there's the backstop for GS getting taken down. AKOP goes down to an aid from Wolves as well, as that bleed out comes through. And another point added to the tally for 9ZG. For OG, it's all up to Aru. For Orangutan, they need him to come up trumps, but Tiamba are making a move as well. They're flexing out across. On 83 points, they are also within striking distance, but with the placement points that 9ZG have to get, a lot of elims need to be found. There's the flush, leaving Aru alone, standing for India.
86 points. We'll go further off the back of this one, but I think for OG, today has been an incredible improvement. Much better gameplay overall, but it just came slightly too late. I do think they'll be fearsome again when they head back to their own regionals, but I'm not sure they can go too much further here. Good shots from Jafar down towards Baton on Wolves. Well, yeah, I think Tiamba does have a good chance here. 9Z has to leave this building, but 9Z has to go down soon. They can't be gaining too many more placement points now. Otherwise, Tiamba's chances are really, really not looking good. For GS, this is the team that has the greatest ability to jump out of the bottom 5 into safety zone above 9Z. The circle just about envelops them now.
I mean, 5th place is 3 points, which means that guaranteed it's 98 at least for 9ZG, even if they go down here and now before the Wolves. 4 points if you jump up into 4th.
Good shot.
This is how you want it to start to happen. And if Tiamba are going to be able to pick them up, then brilliant. Okay, they're moving through with the bullets and lining up these shots. They have the angle. GS denied the points opportunities. They're closer, but it's not quite a cigar, as it's not going to flare into existence. Tiamba moving out blank. With Eagle crashing up, they could be getting another point here. Bond on the backlines forces him over. Aru is still playing as well. The battle for this bubble is so close.
That angle from Bond is incredible. I love that. On top of the boxes, looking through the top windows. I don't think anyone expected that when it took down Coligo as well. But it is going to be Tiamba versus GS. Both teams, desperation in their hearts towards this end game. Aru looking to go further beyond, but it is Jafar. And GS to look towards him. One shot is found, but Jafar goes down. And this opens things up now for Tiamba, who've been down their luck all day. That 14 elim game might be doing it.
GS with 2 players alive, they're looking to chase the bubble. Will it be enough? Are they far enough ahead of Tiamba that it won't matter? Are GS going to take that spot from them? It's all in the lurch here, Blank, but you just want to close it down now, and that's how you start. Tiamba trying to rise from their own ashes as they launch the nade assault forwards. It's looking good. They've got it in control, but with 1 player left standing, Bond's going to spot him. The spray down there does not connect, and Tiamba over the top. 11 elims, 12 maybe if they can find it. Tiamba get the chicken dinner, but Blank, is it enough?
I think they might have just made it from that moment. Some great finishing gameplay. It was wobbly towards the middle of the game, but they've got to now wait and see. Does Bond have a license to qualify? Let's wait and see.
Oh my goodness me.